Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 26th monthly TWitWoW Q&A. Absolutely amazing the way that you guys keep on turning up for these. It's crazy. This time around, we have 66 questions.
Damn.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was not, I didn't stutter on that. 66. So yeah, we keep getting this great turnout from you guys, and it's pretty awesome. I've actually been thinking about, because we've been doing these monthly Q&As for so long, I'm starting to wonder if, because a lot of the stuff that gets asked ends up being a little bit outdated by the time we get around to it, maybe we should just start doing weekly Q&As where we just limit it to one question per person, and then they can still do 4 a month.
Yeah, that's true. That might actually be something to look into. We'll talk about that more later.
Well, you know what? I'm going to leave it up to the fans to decide. Would you guys prefer that we stick with the monthly Q&As, 4 questions per month? Or do you want us to switch it up and start doing weekly Q&As where you're only allowed to ask 1 question a week, but because it's every week, you're still able to get in 4 and sometimes maybe even 5 questions every month. And then that way it'll be a little bit more recent. So you could ask us about G1 earlier on in August, whereas now, if you'd ask us about who we think's going to win G1, it's already over, so it doesn't freaking matter who we think's going to win. So yeah, that might be a really good option, and we will, we'll let you guys make the call as far as whether we're going to go weekly or if we're going to stick with the monthly. We want to hear from you all, but for now, we do have 66 questions to get around to. How you feeling, brother?
Brother, I'm ready to go and dive into these. Like you said, they always turn up. They always come up with amazing questions. So let's see what you guys got for us this month.
All right, guys, here we go. First set of questions is naturally, because I'm assuming he probably got these in before we even went off the air with the last Q&A answer video. James with 4 questions. First up, what's your favorite childhood memory?
Oh God, that goes to a dark place.
I wonder if he asked that on purpose to fuck with you.
I don't know. You know what? I'm just going to say, because our parents left us alone a lot and stuff, one of my favorite childhood memories before the age of 7 would be when we just filled up water balloons and we sprayed water all over the walls and we fucked up the house. And my mom came back and she damn near had a heart attack. She's like, what the hell happened to the house? And we just couldn't stop laughing the entire time. And then after the age of 7, when I went to live with my grandmother, I want to say my favorite childhood memory, really any time that, like, because I feel like every Friday and just like every weekend, we'd always get pizza and we'd get movies and we'd compete with each other to see who had the best movie. And I'll never forget the time that I finally won. And it was through the movie Phone Booth, incidentally directed by Joel Schumacher, who I know everybody gives shit because of Batman and Robin. And that was the one time that I had the best film of the bunch. So yeah, that was definitely a highlight for my childhood. What about you, bud? What's your favorite childhood memory?
Well, this is a really difficult question for me, and it's not even because I had a bad childhood. I definitely didn't. It's more just because I don't remember anything from before I was like 14 years old.
Right.
I just don't have that memory, man. It's crazy. I'm such an old fuck. I hate it. No, I really probably like the earliest happy memory that I have is when I was in elementary school. I would go to my great grandma's house every morning to catch the bus, and I would always get breakfast from her, whether it was just a bowl of cereal or like some eggs and bacon and stuff like that. And I would always watch Pokemon, and I would always have a cute little like fold out table that I would sit on the couch and draw on with printer paper. So that's just like one of those old wholesome memories. That's like the oldest memory that I actually have, probably.
Yeah, when you say wholesome, just makes me think of Pepperidge Farm. It just happens at Pepperidge Farm while watching Pokemon. Yeah, Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Dude, Pepperidge Farm is actually a brand that I never thought I would ever actually use, but not really recently, but over the course of the last few years. And again, I would say not within the last like 6 months, but prior to that, they have these little like snack sticks. They're like grams with filling in them. They're called Pirouette. And I used to eat those like fucking crack. And nowadays, my only association with Pepperidge Farm is they make badass sesame seed hamburger buns that I use for ham and cheese sandwiches and burgers. So that's about the extent of that.
That's quite a farm. All right, I guess move on to our next question.
Yep, next question from James. Give your thoughts on the upcoming elections. Personally, I don't really know that much about the upcoming elections. I tend to avoid political discussion with strangers because I know that nothing good can come from that shit.
How I've always operated funny when it comes to politics because I'm far more interested in international politics than even local politics. I'm just wired that way. I can't explain it. So I really don't even know what's going on here in New Hampshire. The last politically based thing, which I was very happy about, was that New Hampshire finally gave trans people workplace protections, because before New Hampshire used to be a state where you could fire somebody just in lieu of them being trans. So that always kind of disgusted me. That and the libertarian movement, because it's kind of cancer. And, you know, but so I don't really keep up with the local politics here. And so yeah, I really have no comment on like any thoughts. And I'm sure James will chastise me later, but he's a bitch, so who cares? Next question.
All right, next question from James. If you could go back in time and attend one wrestling event or pay-per-view live, which event would you attend?
Oh, this is a going back in time question, you said?
Yeah, I just know what your answer is going to be already, but I still want to just hear you say it.
I mean, always, man, either WrestleMania 20 when Benoit won the title, or I have three here. WrestleMania 20 when he won the title, Royal Rumble 2003 so I could see Angle Benoit in person and take in the crowd, or the night that Johnny Mundo won the Lucha Underground Championship, you know, go to the temple. So top three answers right there.
Nice. Yeah, let's see. A wrestling event or a pay-per-view live, which event would you attend? Man, that's a lot more difficult for me because I don't really have that one person that like I need to see them live kind of thing.
Right.
If I had to say, I would probably go, was it Wrestling Dontaku last year? I'm going to look it up real quick and find out. I think it was. No, shit, it wasn't. Okay. I don't remember. What was the show? Sakura Genesis, maybe?
Maybe. What show are you trying to think of? What match happened on it?
The Shibata Okada match.
Oh.
Genesis. It was Sakura Genesis. That would probably be it. It would either be that or one of the Wrestle Kingdoms from the last few years. Probably Wrestle Kingdom 9, honestly. If I like, that was the first thing that popped into my head was Wrestle Kingdom 9. So I guess I might as well just go with that. But I mean, Sakura Genesis was just an amazing show. Goto ZSJ for the never openweight title. Takahashi squashing Kushida, and then Okada Shibata in the main event. Like, you can't go wrong there.
No, absolutely not.
All right, fourth and final question from James. Would you rather fight a child or a homeless person? I just guess I'm going to go here. I'll take the homeless person because, you know, in a court, I guess you could call it privilege or whatever, but I would way rather go to court for beating up a homeless guy than go to court for beating up a child.
Nah, man, I'm punching that child square in the face. Child all day, every day.
Enjoy your jail time.
I will, knowing that I help the fucking planet. Next question.
All right. We've got three from Asia. Bullet Club versus The Shield, or TPA Petty EST Bots in chat right now. Three questions. First up, thoughts on some fans saying Becky Lynch's personality is boring. You're entitled to your opinion. I disagree with you, and I'm just going to leave it at that.
Yeah, I had to swallow the scoff. How old was this question? Because
726.
Because I never thought her personality was boring. One, she's adorable and she puns, for God's sakes. But lately, no, not anymore. Like, goddamn, I've gone back and I've watched that segment of her just kicking Charlotte in the face and then bending down and just calling her a bitch multiple times. Like, I've already said, like, her holding up the title is one of the most iconic images of this year. So, nah, she's not boring to me in the slightest. Becky's freaking awesome. And it's one of those, if you believe it, you're wrong kind of things to me. So there you go.
Dude, I just had a thought.
Okay.
Regarding the time travel question, I would go back to the Monday Night Raw when Seth Rollins turned, and right before that guy shouts, "No!" I would yell, "Roman, turn around!"
Yes.
Oh my God, that's amazing. All right. Second question from Asia. Who is the worst all-around female wrestler? Ring, skills, promos, personality, etc.
I'd still say Dana Brooke. I'm being a little less harsh on Dana Brooke because we really haven't seen her in the ring in forever, but there's a reason for that.
You know what, dude? I agree that Dana Brooke's bad. I'm going to say Nia Jax, unironically.
You know what? Relative to the push that she's gotten and everything, I could understand that. I may even.
Yeah, I'm not even saying like relative to anything. I'm just saying like flat out, she's just bad at everything.
Oh, she definitely is. I'm just saying like she's gotten far more opportunities than did. So like she's more magnified too. We get to see more of her.
Right.
And yeah, I can certainly see that argument. Absolutely.
All right. Yeah. Third question from Asia. Do you think it is fair for fans to praise Chris Jericho as the NJPW, the IWGP Intercontinental Champion, while shitting on Brock for being a part-time champ in WWE?
I shit on both. You know,
yeah, right? Like, no, it's not fair to shit on one and support the other because, you know, if that's why you're shitting on them. If you're shitting on them because, part-time champ, it makes no sense to, you know, shit on one and praise the other. So if that's actually a thing that people do, then no, it's not fair, but that's not a thing that we do. We both shit on both of them.
Right, exactly.
All right, up next, we've got 4 questions from Brandon Best. First up, what would have happened if Neo said fuck it and took both the red and blue pill?
One fucking weird trip. I mean, you know, because one
question, Brandon. I don't know. It probably would have killed him if I had to guess. He probably would have just died.
It probably would have been like a sensory overload because one keeps you in the Matrix, right? And then the other one kind of pulls you out. So it would be like almost the two like things kind of battling for supremacy. And
that's why I'm saying, like, I feel like the whatever is in those pills that causes that stuff to happen would probably have a really, really bad reaction in your system and just end up killing you.
Yeah, I am inclined to agree with that for sure.
All right, second question. What's it going to take for Okada to get over this crisis he's having?
Well, he's already dumped Ghetto, and I think that's half the battle because he's a piece of shit. I'd pop the balloons that he has and maybe get his hair to a color that isn't hideous, and then maybe we'll talk.
So what is your answer just you doing all that stuff?
I mean, you know, pop the balloons, quit the balloon shit. Get your hair back to like blind, you know, be the Rainmaker again. Kick Ghetto to the curb. That was the only thing you've done right in your little midlife crisis. And yeah, I think we should be good to go. And I could see him being world champion again. Let's see. It's going to be Wrestle Kingdom 13 this year and he didn't win G1. Wrestle Kingdom 14, he'll be world champion again. Maybe he'll even win it back before then.
I don't even know if he'll win it back by then, honestly, because I don't know. I mean, it's possible that he will. I don't know. That's a tough call. As far as what it'll take for him to get over this little phase that he's going through, just time. Just when he decides to be done with this crisis, he'll be done with it. You know, it's not something that, you know, actually can be affected from outside forces. Third question from Brandon, though, is just for you, John. How would you book an NXT title feud between Ciampa and Drake Younger, you know, Drake Wirtz, the referee, culminating in a no-ropes barbed wire match?
Oh, Jesus. Okay, so you figure that Ciampa won the title off of Aleister Black, and his altercation with Younger was, I think he sent Black into the ropes that knocked Younger off the apron onto the concrete floor. I'd go back from that event, maybe the first week, Ciampa's celebrating, and maybe he takes a bit of a pot shot at Younger, like, oh, you should really watch, you know, where you are in the ring. You're the official here, not me. I shouldn't have to do every job, even though I'm the greatest sports entertainer of all time. You kind of have the camera shoot to Younger, you know, it's whatever. But then we see with every title defense that Ciampa has, Younger turns out to be the official. And there's always a little something like, always seems to be a ref bump, always this. And Younger, he's really starting to get frustrated. Like, why is it whenever I'm in the ring with Ciampa, I get hurt? And of course, Ciampa, being the sociopath that he is, he's not going to accept responsibility. He can't look inward and see that he's at fault. So he's always going to be needling Younger. So you take these two forces here and you build the tension. And then you have at TakeOver, I don't know, Ashton, pick a city. That would be the WrestleMania TakeOver. TakeOver Philly. There you go. TakeOver Philadelphia. Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa. I quit. You know, Drake Younger at one point, he grabs a steel chair, he clocks Ciampa in the head, or maybe even in the back, because I know headshots are banned. Gargano gets the Gargano escape, maybe with like a crutch or something, but because Younger put Ciampa in that compromising position, he says, I quit. Gargano becomes NXT champion. Younger's got this smirk on his face. He's walking off, he's taking off his referee shirt, whatever. Ciampa's irate because the guy that he hates more than anything now has his NXT championship. And it wouldn't have happened if Younger would have minded his business. But he was been getting bullied all these months. Every Ciampa match, something happens again, whether it's an altercation or whatever. So following NXT, when we get back on track to the next takeover, he calls Younger out. He lays into like, how dare you? You're an official. You shouldn't have done this. And then he proceeds to beat the shit out of him, just viciously, to the point where he's stretchered out. Regal's looking disgusted. He has no idea what to do. This is an unprecedented problem for him. An official overstepping his boundaries. Ciampa's obviously taking his psychosis to a whole new level, attacking officials. So he says, you know what? Fine. Now, 2 weeks later, we'll say, because we want to keep Younger and Ciampa off TV, cooler heads, because Regal's trying to mediate. 2 weeks later, he brings them back. And he says, okay, I've deliberated a lot about this. I've looked at the escalation of all of this between you two. And I think the best way to reduce workplace tension, Drake, I'm sorry, you're fired as a referee. Drake reluctantly hands in his shirt, but he does protest to Regal. Look, you can fire me as a referee, but can you hire me as a talent? And can my first match be against Tommaso Ciampa? They go back and forth about it a little bit. Ciampa's kind of saying, look, boy, if you do this, I'm not going to be held responsible for what happens to you. And, Regal says, fine. But Younger, because he's crazy, because, maybe he even makes a mention of, every time Ciampa put his hands on me, I was always dying, to punch him back. And it brought me back to the days when I was a competitor. And I swore I'd never go back to those places as a referee. But if I'm going to beat Ciampa, the sickest son of a bitch in NXT history, I've got to meet him at his level. Let's make it a no ropes barbed wire match. Boom, you've got it for your takeover. And I'd have Younger go over in a bloody freaking upset. So there you go.
All right. Next up, another question just for you. If the purge were to happen, do you expect me to kill with no rhyme or reason, or to be more meticulous?
I'd say more meticulous if you just got out of prison. I mean, you just got out. If the urge to kill is just irrepressible.
Who said anything about prison?
Oh, I thought part of your question was getting out of prison. Say the question again.
If the purge were to happen.
Oh, if the purge were to happen.
Do you expect me to kill with no rhyme or reason, or to be more meticulous?
Oh, if we're talking purge, yeah, you'll kill with no rhyme or no reason. I know I certainly would, and I feel like I'm a.
And when I say me, do you expect me? It's referring to Brandon.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like I totally expect him to kill without rhyme or reason. Absolutely. So.
Okay, that was an adventure. All right, guys. Up next, we have Cliff's question from July that he asked. He said, rank these dream matches best to worst. And then it does say here, John, that there was a list in the separate doc. So I'm going to let you pull that separate doc up and get the list.
All right. Yep. And he says that all of these old guys that are on the list, like, just imagine them in their prime so at their absolute best.
All right.
We've got Undertaker versus Velveteen Dream. Kurt Angle versus Matt Riddle. Kevin Owens versus Cactus Jack. Eddie Guerrero versus Seth Rollins. Chris Benoit versus Daniel Bryan. Bruiser Brody versus Luke Harper. Randy Savage versus CM Punk. HBK versus Kenny Omega. And ZSJ versus Regal.
Shit, man. That's so many. Do me a favor and however you send me those docs on Facebook. Send this doc to me too, because there's so many matches. I can't remember all of them already.
That's fine. I'm going to do that.
The one that really stood out to me immediately was Angle Riddle, but then there was one that had Eddie in there that was intriguing to me, and there was one that had Bryan that was intriguing. So it's just, I just need.
Yeah, I just sent you the doc.
Yeah, thank you.
I guess I'll take this doc and I'll arrange it in the order I want them in.
Okay, here we go. Now I'm pulling the doc up. And here we go. Okay, now we're arranging these Let's see, cliff them all from best to worst. That's good. That's what I was hoping he would say. All right, so I would say, oh god, these are double spaced. Gross. Oh no, they're not. What the hell? What is this font?
Let's see.
Why is it so spaced?
I don't know, man.
All right, that works. All right, so I'm gonna put Eddie Seth, I believe, at number 1. And Wah Bryan at number 2. Angle Riddle at number 3. Savage Punk at 4. Michaels Omega at 5. Saber Regal at 6. And then the last 3 are kind of a toss-up for me. I would say Taker Dream would probably be at 7. And then we'll do Owens Cactus Jack at 8, Bruiser Brody, Luke Harper at 9.
Okay, my list from best match to worst match to me. Chris Benoit versus Daniel Bryan, ZSJ versus Regal, Angle versus Riddle, Guerrero versus Rollins, HBK versus Omega, Kevin Owens versus Cactus Jack, Undertaker versus Velveteen Dream, Savage versus Punk, and Brody versus Harper.
All right, there we go. Now I guess we can move on. Cliff does have another question down further, but this is from July, so we can move on past that. We've got 4 questions from Hypothesis. First up, do you think Matanza's sacrifices will come back to life after season 4 of Lucha Underground?
I don't think so. They may be reincarnated as other characters, but not back to life as they are.
I'm going to say some of them will. I'm going to say some of them will actually come back to life. Not all of them. I would say most of them actually won't. Some of them will, though. And yeah, I'll agree with you. Some of them will probably come back as other characters, too. But I do think some of them will just outright come back. All right. So second question from Hypothesis. Will Vampiro's Master be the one to take the Lucha Underground title from Pentagon Dark or someone else? I'm going to say someone else.
I'm increasingly becoming convinced that it's going to be Jake Strong, so that falls into the category of someone else.
Yeah, but also, ew.
Ew, indeed.
Third question from Hypothesis. If Antonio Cueto got killed off, who do you think would take his place as the promoter of Lucha Underground? I would hope that it would be FBI Agent Winter. I was hoping that Agent Winter would be the promoter of Lucha Underground this season.
Yeah, you and me both. So I'll sign on with you about the whole Winter guess.
All right, and then our fourth and final question from HPT. If who would be a more deserving Scum Squad member, TJP or Ash Ketchum from the I Choose You movie?
I guess Ash, because yeah, he was a dick. Pikachu would have won that. Fuck you. So,
yeah, that was going to be my answer too. So I'm glad we agree on that. All right, and it's funny because you haven't even seen that movie. I just told you about it.
Yeah.
Next up, though, we've got 4 questions from Races Fan Rocks 4. First up, if Moon Knight gets a movie, who do you want to play him?
No idea, because I don't even know who Moon Knight is.
Oh, you've never heard of Moon Knight?
No.
Oh, God. He's got so many mental illnesses. Let me see if I can find a really quick kind of description of his character that I can just read out loud to everybody.
Okay.
Let's see. Here we go. Oh, God. Everything's so long. Good God. It's ridiculous. Why aren't there any brief fucking summaries of what superheroes are? God damn it.
I know, right?
I mean, all I can find is Moon Knight is a fictional superhero appearing in American comic books published by Marvel Comics. And then it just says who he's created by. Who gives a shit who he's created by? God damn it. Moon Knight. How about if I just say, who is Moon Knight? You're going to give me anything? No, of course not. Dude, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know either. Yeah. I've heard of Moon Knight before, and I know that... Oh, here, maybe what's this? Who the hell is Moon Knight anyway? Jesus Christ, we're not going to get anything. I hate to do this to you, Racist Fan Rocks, but we're not going to be able to answer this because John and I don't have enough knowledge of who Moon Knight is to be able to say this.
Yeah.
All right, second question. Write a story for Ronda versus Sonya at Evolution.
Well, I mean, it starts, right, by booking Sonya to be a killer. You know, have her win some matches, have her up her intensity with submissions and stuff. I would even have it to the point where, like, I wouldn't necessarily break up her and Mandy because Mandy still needs a buffer, and I wouldn't want to throw her to the wolves if we're playing with the mindset that we want, like, every talent to work. I would just have her be, like, intimidated and maybe kind of back off Sonya a little bit, like, whoa, you know, you're really zoned in. Because, and maybe this all starts because... Let's think of an event here. Maybe just throwing something out there for the sake of keeping this moving. Ronda's on the cover of some ESPN magazine that WWE's heavily promoting. It starts with a segment of Sonya flipping through it. And she's like, you know, that's bull crap. I'm a better mixed martial artist than Ronda is. I should be on the cover and this and that. And you see her taking out jobbers and maybe even some slightly credible opponents, you know, up in her skill set, showing the submissions, this and that. And she calls out Ronda, you know, week after week. I almost think of something like when Miz and John Cena feuded way back, and I want to say 2010. No, not 2010. 2008. 2008. And she's just calling out Ronda. And she's like, oh, well, it's clear. Ronda's afraid of me. Ronda finally answers. He comes down. They have a match set. They said what? That the match is going to be at Evolution, they said? Or was this just a fantasy book match in general? Okay, Evolution. And to be perfectly honest, no disrespect to Sonya, I'd have it be more or less a squash. Like maybe more competitive than, say, Alexa Ronda. But if the idea is to protect Ronda and that Ronda's everything, maybe I'd have Sonya get an early flirt. You know how I would do it? I would do it like they did Joe Lesnar. I would have Sonya like jump Ronda from behind, so she's really looking in control and like she might pull it off. But the moment Ronda finds her footing and gets control, it's over. It's only a matter of time. So Ronda goes over. But I would at least try and get Sonya some heel heat in the meantime. So that's the best booking I can give.
Man, I don't think I would do this in the first place, but if I absolutely had to, I would literally just build it as a one-off. Sonya thinks she's hot shit because maybe she gets a few wins over local competitors and says some crazy, like basically do with her what they did with Lana leading up to the Money in the Bank match last year, where like she gets a few wins against local competitors and then she suddenly thinks she's hot shit. But as soon as she starts running her mouth at people that actually have credibility, they start like laughing in her face. And she keeps saying like, oh, everyone's afraid to fight me. Everyone's afraid to fight me. I know who won't be afraid to fight me. Ronda Rousey, I'm calling you out. And then literally, and this happens at Evolution, like literally the night of Evolution, she calls out Ronda Rousey. Ronda comes out, bell rings, 30 seconds. Ronda wins and we move on.
Perfect. Yeah, there you go.
Third question from Racist Fan Rocks. People you would like for season 5 of Lucha Underground?
Definitely a bigger presence from people that may still appear. I know you said like Dante Fox was supposed to have a slight role. Definitely would bring him back and kind of center him. You know, Cortez Castro I liked because they knocked him off. I know he was part of Sacrifices to the Gods. I actually liked him, especially as a character narratively, as a cop trying to bust the Cuetos. So we could bring him back. As far as new talents, let me try and think. Because they've already got Jeff Cobb as Matanza, and that's one of the best signings there. NXT's got Riddle, so we can't do that. I guess, oh God, what? Jonah Rock, I think would be pretty cool for Lucha. Maybe even get a Haas fight with him and Mil Muertes or him and Matanza. That would be cool. Flamita would be interesting. Because didn't they have Flamita? Wasn't he the
he was Nightclaw.
So yeah, bring back Nightclaw too. So really it's more returns than anything else. I think I'm just gonna stop there for now. What about you, Ashton? What are some talents that come to your mind?
I mean, I would love to just kind of see, it's kind of like what you are, but even just with this season, like I would just love to see more of the people that we were either introduced or reintroduced to this season. Like I want more Sammy Guevara. I want Hernandez to come back, you know, like that kind of thing. As far as actual new characters, well, we know for a damn fact that Priscilla Kelly isn't in WWE now because she's taking bookings everywhere else. So come to Lucha Underground. Santana Garrett, another name, come to Lucha Underground. Like, I'm so disappointed that Lucha Underground isn't sort of becoming like a safe haven for intergender wrestling in the mainstream, because that's like, it's literally the only promotion with a television deal that is willing to feature intergender wrestling. And yet not only are they not going out of their way to sign more talented in-ring workers that are women, but they're also kind of straying more and more far away from the intergender stuff, to the point that now, just last night, we had a male versus male match that they tried to pass off as intergender because one of the men was an exotico.
Right.
And last year, every Ultima Lucha match that featured a woman was against another woman.
Yeah.
I just really wish Lucha Underground would really embrace intergender, but rather than like constantly doing the same story of David versus Goliath, where the woman is the David and the man is the Goliath and the heel and the bad guy, they could actually tell like interesting male versus female storylines where maybe sometimes the woman is the bitchy heel and the guy is like the plucky underdog. Like you could do Aerostar versus Mariposa, and that could be the exact dynamic you get there. Or they could like bring in Priscilla Kelly and have her be like an actual cult leader, do it the right way instead of the Bray Wyatt way. Like there's so much room to work with in the intergender wrestling realm, and I'm just really disappointed that Lucha Underground isn't even trying to explore it anymore.
Yeah, there's always hope. You know, as long as they've got the pieces in play, there's always hope that they'll do something with it. And I'm still more optimistic that they could pull the trigger on something than, say, a massive corporation like WWE. But I agree with you. The intergender thing really is what makes them stand out. And really, when you've got the talents doing PR, right, like these press releases, one of the things that I know Johnny's mentioned and others mentioned, they've defended and mentioned like that they do intergender wrestling. So if you're like defending it, mentioning it, and that's one part of your product that people are talking about most, I would go really push that hard, you know, and just promote it even more than I already do. So I absolutely agree with you on that.
Yeah. All right. So I guess the next question is just for me, and it's from Racist Fan Rocks again, and it's create your own Pokemon. So you can interpret this question a whole bunch of ways. You know, the scary way to interpret it is create your own, you know, video game franchise that has as much success as Pokemon, and I'm not even going to fucking try that. So I'm just going to take this as literally just create a Pokemon that doesn't exist yet that you can call your own. And I'm trying to think of like, because like the first thing I thought of with create your own Pokemon was, okay, I'm going to make a Pokemon that people are scared of. You know what I mean? Because like, right. As of right now, the status is literally just people just own Pokemon and use them to fight. And yeah, like they're friends and shit, but you know, there's other stuff going on there too. So I want a Pokemon that people are afraid to even try and catch. I want a Pokemon that like Beedrill, that people are afraid of. You know what I mean? Like right. In the anime, people are always portrayed as being afraid of Beedrill, but then at the same time, there are people who own Beedrill and use Beedrill for their own, you know, well-being and battling and stuff. So I came up with a specific type of Pokemon that is just kind of an amorphous blob. It's like, if you're at all familiar with the Dragon Quest series, think of like a Metally or a Metable. It's like this silver blob, like a silver Grimer looking thing. Because you know what Grimer is, right? Right, John?
Yeah.
But it's silver, and it is basically this metallic substance that if you touch it, you can literally get extremely poison from it. It's steel poison type, which is actually a completely unused type ever in Pokemon. I looked it up. Poison steel has never been used before. So it's a poison steel type, which is unique. And it evolves into basically this like, really, it's like a Grimer Muck situation where it goes from this little like amorphous blob into just like this bigger, more intimidating amorphous blob. It doesn't really change that much, but it gets bigger, scarier, more powerful, that kind of stuff. It's poison steel type, and its sort of signature move, I guess, would be Gyro Ball, because it would have pretty low speed and it would be part steel. So it would use Gyro Ball as sort of a, you know, like a go-to, like a bread and butter kind of thing. And yes, actually, hypothesis, I was actually going to say the name of it would have something to do with Mercury, because that would be like, it would be the Mercury Pokemon, and that would be the whole point of it. So yeah, that would be my Pokemon, would be a Pokemon that kills people. There you go. How's that?
Sounds great to me.
Fourth, or not fourth, that was our fourth question from Racist Fan Rocks. Up next, though, we've got 4 questions from Rotten Butter. First question is the usual Rotten Butter question.
I finally got back into reading a little bit this month. It's quite a shame that kind of went off the rails because life happened. So you know that's been nice. Gaming, I got a new game called Orwell. I don't know how many people are familiar with it. It's like a relatively cheap game. It's like you work for Big Brother pretty much in solving crimes, you know, that people commit, quote unquote, against the state. You know, so that's definitely interesting, and they definitely know how to like create a mood with that. So I appreciate that. Finally saw Infinity War. Oh God, so good. I think we even have some Infinity War related questions later in the Q&A. So that was cool.
We just recently watched the Saving Capitalism documentary with Robert Wright.
Yeah, that was good. That was solid. Let me see. What else have I done?
We watched the Unbreakable trilogy, or two of the 2 that have been out, actually. Unbreakable.
Yes, cannot wait for Mr. Glass. As far as with the family, we've been kind of unpacking Disenchanted, and we're still working through the latest season of Orange is the New Black. Can't wait to get to Shameless. I just read that Fiona Gallagher's leaving Shameless, so I guess after this season that's been put on Netflix, she won't be on the next season.
We also just recently watched Deadpool 2.
Yeah, Deadpool 2 was a thing. So, yeah, as far as for me, I listened to some philosophy podcasts. Haven't watched any well, actually, no. As far as anime goes, we finished Food Wars. God, that show's so good. And I know pretty soon I'll be finishing My Hero Academia, and hopefully.
Have you seen any of the FBE videos where they show the kids clips from Food Wars and then offer them up food from the show as cooked by actual professional chefs, and the challenge is to not eat it?
No, but I need to see that, because we even joke that like there's no way you can make the foods from the show, and I'm like, yeah, there is, because I've even seen cookbooks produced and stuff.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, we'll have to watch those videos then. But there is like a try not to eat challenge on the same channel that does like kids react, teens react, that kind of stuff.
Nice, dude. That's awesome.
And they literally just show them clips from Food Wars, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, by the way, we actually have the thing that they made in the show. Here you go. Try not to eat this."
Yeah. I was gonna say too. I'm looking into. I haven't read any yet, but I've been looking into comics. It'd be too much for me to like buy comics. Plus, I like to put my money, you know, literature-wise to philosophy stuff. But I found an online database. Hopefully, when we do September Q&A, I'll be telling you guys that I've read some Doctor Strange comics, because Doctor Strange definitely is my favorite Marvel hero right now in the cinematic universe, and I'd like to explore the comic book origins. Also, I'd like to do that with Doctor Doom on the villain side, as you guys know, but I still haven't had a chance to do that. You know, read some philosophy papers. You guys already know I watch a shit ton of wrestling. I'm excited for Kenta Marufuji in 2 days, but that doesn't fall into the umbrella this month. What other movies did we watch? We went back to watch one episode of Arrested Development. God, that show is so good, but we didn't really get much further than that. So yeah, I think that's gonna do it for me for this month. What about you, Ashton? Is there anything you just did without me that you kind of want to fill everybody in on?
No, not really. I don't. That's the thing, is like most 99.99% of the time that I spend away from you is spent either fucking around on YouTube or working on my spreadsheets or talking to people in Discord, or, you know, that's just the computer time that I spend. You know, that's not counting what I do away from the computer. So yeah.
So what's that 0.001%? What are you doing that I don't know about? No, I'm just kidding. I'm not that unhealthy yet. But yeah, so I guess that's all we got to say about this question, huh?
Yep. All right. Next up, second question from Rotten Butter. What is the biggest opinion shift that you have had on a wrestler, for better or for worse, based on their work as a wrestler and not on their social life?
Definitely Cody. Because I know like that you had the opinion, but even me, like, you know, I loved him in WWE. I thought he was an excellent character performer, and I still believe that on some level, even though I feel like the work's kind of regressed a little bit. But in ring, he hasn't changed up his style. I think it's just not a WWE style. I'm not really as entertained by him as I used to be in WWE. In WWE, I was clamoring for him to be a world champion. Now, when he's doing everything else, I'm just kind of clamoring for him to go away. Again, you should keep personal life out of it. I'm sure he's a cool dude personally, but just in the ring, he doesn't do it for me as much as he used to. But the funny thing is, and I'll say this, if he were to come back to WWE, I'd probably get into him again, you know, because I think he just fits better there, and presentation's everything. So, yeah, I'd definitely say Cody. What about you, Ashton?
For me, it's the other way around. It's someone that I used to hate and now love, and that would be The Miz, because And really, you could even say it was before any of his personal life started to become public. I just have grown to really love his work, man. He's just an excellent talker, an excellent in ring. He's gotten, well, I won't say excellent in the ring, but he's gotten really good in the ring.
Right.
There were actually a lot of people saying that you could make the argument that he carried Daniel Bryan in their SummerSlam match, and I don't find that to be overly egregious because Bryan is definitely still working out some of the ring rust, and Miz is just on another level right now. So yeah, the Miz would be my answer. And I will also say that even though my opinion on him changed long before his personal life started to become public, his personal life stuff being public has just made me like him that much more.
Yeah, definitely. Without question.
All right, third question from Rotten Butter. What would be your rapper / DJ stage name?
Oh, God. I mean, I did kind of flirt with a rap forum very briefly, and I was called Philoso Rapper as kind of a play on Raptor. So
that's perfect for you.
Yeah, I'm just gonna run with it. Yeah, I'm even undefeated. I'm even undefeated in rap battles. I was 1-0. So yeah, I was.
Dude, that's way too good. I can't believe that you actually have a rapper name already.
I know, right?
How is that not already taken also?
I couldn't believe it, but I'm like, man, I'm breaking ground. I'm changing the game. So yeah, I'm just running with it. That's it. What about you, man? Yeah, a question that took me ease to answer was a fucking shock. So now I'm going to leave it to you. What's your stage name?
Well, I've always wanted to be both an analyst and a therapist.
Oh, God, no. I'm immediately like, oh shit, go back.
No, that was literally just me quoting.
I know, and that's why I was like, oh shit, go back. It was like James saying hi to someone in our chat. You just know where it's gonna go from there.
I don't know, dude. God. MC Buzzkill. I don't fucking know.
That's perfect. No, let's see. Oh, Alex Foster's Hideo's grown on him. That makes me so happy. Yeah, let's think of a word for you.
Yeah, it's way.
What's your favorite dinosaur? Because I've your favorite dinosaur, right? I forget the name.
Therizinosaurus.
Oh, we gotta find a way to work that name into a rapper name.
Well, I mean, it's so much easier with you because you just turned a rapper into a rapper. So I'll just say, well, no, that doesn't make sense either. Because my favorite raptor is Micro Raptor, and I'm fucking 6'6". That can't work.
I don't know. Let's see.
Rapham.
Wait, what was that?
Ash Rapham.
There you go. I mean,
like a take on Ash Ketchum, but with rap.
I mean, you're never gonna sell any albums, but at least we got you something.
I guess it's like, well, to be fair, I wouldn't sell any albums based on my skill, not based on my name.
Right. Well, that is true. I just feel like the name's got to be catchy so that they do a double take, and then when they hear you, like that's how you keep them. So yeah, we get you on SoundCloud. You'll be all right. You'll be all right.
Oh God, it's so bad though. Oh man. I just want to move on from this question.
Let's do it.
Fourth and final question from Rotten Butter. It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
Like, I give a fuck. Oh, you're serious. No.
It's an old fucking...
I know. I know what it is. I don't even know why they bothered to do it. Be thankful for the decrease in population. Next.
All right, next up, 4 questions from. Oh, and you know what? Actually, this is kind of awkward.
It's kind of our specialty. So.
Is Dominique Adams in chat? Because we got 2 sets of 4 questions from Dominique.
Yeah, he's in chat. I told him that I thought we straightened it out because, like I told you, only the 1 set of questions I found in the pinned tweet from August. Okay. And the other ones I must have miscopied. So that's just what I was going with.
All right, and I am going to delete this first set, and we'll get to the second set when we get to that. That takes us down to 62 questions on the whole. And DBK is our next set of questions. I don't know if DBK is in the chat. I'm hoping that he is. But first up from DBK, when did the John Cena character start going south for you? I can actually give you a very specific answer for this. The John Cena character started to really go... and really, like, this is when I started to just be like, okay, I don't like him anymore. It was when he beat Edge in I think it was a ladder match or a TLC match.
It was TLC, yeah.
In Toronto, yeah.
Yeah, that was Unforgiven. I want to say 2006. Yeah, I'd say about the same time, honestly, because, you know, he beat JBL and then he beat him in the rematch with I Quit. I don't even know if I like that he went to Raw. Like, if we're talking about wrestling history and things we would change. But, you know, it was whatever. And honestly, I can even remember rooting against him in that triple threat he had at Vengeance. And again, that was 05. Because it was him against Chris Jericho and Christian. But this was around the time that I think Christian was really starting to put together a following. Like, people were really looking at him and like, hey, do more with this dude. Because he had the whole Captain Charisma thing and Tomko. And I remember actually being really excited to see Christian in that spot because it was different. You know, like, you wouldn't expect a guy at the time of Christian's status to be competing for the WWE Championship, which is why it was kind of cool that Raw had both world titles for a time until Batista went to SmackDown. And yeah, I think even in that triple threat match, I was kind of rooting for Christian because I'm like, when does a guy like that ever get opportunities like this? And then I was just kind of like, Cena's all right. I feel like I was more riding with him when, like, he was the antithesis to JBL. And then when he was just the guy, I was just kind of looking for the next thing. But yeah, I think that active, like, oh God, let's change the guard already really did start with Edge. So I agree with you there.
So I just did a quiz to find out my DJ name, and I'm DJ Rehabilitation.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough.
Second question from DBK. What's the worst character assassination you've ever seen?
Oh, God. Besides the one I've just witnessed with Kevin Owens. God.
Does that really count as a character assassination?
Possibly not. I don't know. I'm trying to think, though, because I feel like there have been people where, like, we really like their character, and then either they went to the main roster or just something changed, and it's like the character isn't even likable anymore or redeemable. Let me think. No, because I think Punk only got better with each new character, so he won't work. Eddie was an amazing heel, so I can't hate. Michael.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure when he says character assassination, he means, like, the content of somebody's character being publicly eviscerated.
Oh, I mean, fucking Benoit, right? Because, I mean, it doesn't get any more eviscerated.
But like, unnecessarily so.
Unnecessarily so? Fuck. I feel like there actually is a name that would come to mind.
Because I don't think I don't think it has to be a wrestling thing. Like,
right.
He didn't say, like, what wrestler has had the worst character assassination you've ever seen. He just said, what's the worst character assassination you've ever seen?
That's difficult for me, man. Because it's in this day and age, for me personally, it's hard to see any character assassination as unjustified. Because when you kind of unpack, you're like, oh, I see. What about you, man?
I have a name in my head, John, but you probably know more about the atrocities that this person may or may not have committed. Muammar Gaddafi.
Oh, yeah. Gaddafi was one. I really, because to me, dude, I would have to do a lot more historical research and stuff. But you look at even just the first few pages of his little green book, and it's like, oh, electricity for everybody, homes for everybody. You know, they wanted to get Africa, like, back on the gold, you know, their own, like, gold standard and away from, like, U.S. dependence and stuff like that. I might even throw in with you on that. I don't know, like, again, the totality of the person, and I want to make that explicitly clear. But if we were to judge them simply by what they wanted their political ideology to be, yeah, it just seemed like another guy that wanted a socialist revolution in Libya. And U.S. imperialism never likes any socialist revolution, ever. Like, even within the country for democratic socialism, which isn't even full-blown socialism, like you'd see in some parts of Latin America, they are just so antagonistic against it. And I don't want to make this a political thing. I'm just saying in the context of why a character assassination would occur unnecessarily. So, yeah, I might even go into you on that because I really can't think of anybody else. But when I think about that, and I even think about the people that remember him, you know, more fondly, it's like, yeah, they might have really done him dirty. So, yeah, that seems agreeable to me.
All right. And then the only other name I'm thinking of right now, and some of you are definitely going to disagree with this, but as far as I'm concerned, it was never found that he actually did anything wrong and he lost his job for it. So I'm going to say Enzo Amore.
Yeah, Enzo would be another one. I could see where you're coming from there.
Yeah. All right. So, third question from DBK. This one's just for you, John. What is worse, Johnny Mundo and Taya leaving Lucha Underground, or Kona Reeves becoming a singles champion in NXT, whether it's the world title or the NA title?
Definitely Johnny and Taya leaving Lucha Underground. Every title reign ends eventually. When you make a departure, it's not that you can never come back, especially because I know Johnny doesn't believe in burning bridges. It's just we don't really see that too often, which is why it's always special when it does happen. I would like them both to end their careers in Lucha Underground and elsewhere, especially because, and I'm just being truthful, if Johnny would ever go back to WWE, I mean, would Taya be with him? Would they be a package deal? Would she want to stay in Impact? Like, I would rather them just be together like Johnny and Candice are in NXT. So yeah, definitely them leaving Lucha would be worse to me. I hate Kona Reeves, but every title reign ends, so like I could deal with it.
Yeah, and plus, like, he could be like a modern take on the Bo Dallas reign.
Yeah, that is true. That is very true.
All right, so fourth and final question from DBK, just for me. Which TV show are you most excited for? It's not technically a TV show that hasn't aired yet, but it is a TV show that I haven't watched yet, and that's The Magicians Season 3.
Oh, yeah. Good pick.
Cannot wait to watch Magicians Season 3 with you, John. That's going to be like, yeah, that's definitely number one. Runner-up would definitely be Mr. Robot Season 4, but that's coming out next year, so I'm kind of cooling my jets on my excitement for it. And it's also going to be the last season, so I don't want to burn through it too quickly. But then also the other 2019 thing, Game of Thrones Season 8, baby! Oh,
yeah, it's going to be nuts.
Great shows are ending next year. End my life.
Just got to wait for that next wave of great television, I guess.
Oh, dude, they're gonna have so many spin-offs of Game of Thrones too, so that's gonna be a good way to quell the pain inside.
Hopefully, if they're of quality. I think the first spin-off they have planned that I read to you that one time, that sounds promising. I just don't know like how much you can mine the well, so to speak. But yeah, great pick, and we can move on to our next question.
Next question from Super Blue. We've got 4 from Super Blue. First up, though, cut a promo on the Avengers failing to stop Thanos, but especially Star-Lord. You know what, John? I'm going to cut a promo about the Avengers failing to stop Thanos. I want you to go hard on Star-Lord, because I know you were super pissed at him.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so you go first.
All right, so the thing is, the reason that I wanted to take this is because I don't think the Avengers actually failed to stop Thanos. I think Stephen Strange, through his ability to see into the future using the Time Stone, foresaw that this was the only way that they could actually defeat Thanos. He saw that they needed to have this series of events unfold in the order that it did. And I think that he figured out that this is the only path to actually win. And I think that someone is going to figure out a way to get most of the people, if not everyone, back. So I don't think they actually failed to stop Thanos. I think this was all a part of Dr. Stephen Strange's plan.
All right, well.
He said, though, I still want you to go hard on Star-Lord, because fuck that.
Fuck Star-Lord, man. Oh, Gamora. You know, she finally said she loves me. I love you too. All feelings. Oh, we're all so happy. The fate of the fucking universe is at stake. And then you finally, you know, Doctor Strange, you know, Tony Stark, Iron Man, even fucking Spider-Man, who I would all say were the adults in the room. Of course, the fucking child is the fucking dimwit named Star-Lord.
Well, to be fair, he didn't really have much of a childhood.
And now I see that he never deserved one. If you're going to be this fucking stupid, you don't deserve happiness at all. They have Thanos restrained. They're going to get the gauntlet off of him. And then Star-Lord's like, oh, wait a minute. You know, I know the universe is at stake and everything, but what happened to Gamora? And then, you know, it gets revealed like, oh, Thanos killed her. What? Why? Rather than preventing more loss of life by having the thing that's causing the loss of life restrained, I'm going to while out and make sure that he can escape thus causing that loss of life to begin with. You're a fucking idiot. The fact that you're breathing is offensive to me.
He's not. He's dust.
Well, then you know what? You got what you fucking deserved. You got exactly what you fucking deserved, and I don't feel this bad for you. You fucked it up for everybody. I get that losing love happens. That happens to people every goddamn day and will continue to happen to people in the future. But you don't see them aid a genocide about it. Grow the fuck up. Actually, oh wait, no, you can't do any growing at all because you're dead. Know your fucking place in the ground. And you know what? If you do somehow come back to life, I hope you realize the fucking privilege that you had, that you almost damned everybody else to losing. Piece of shit. Fuck Star-Lord.
Okay.
Next question.
As shitty of a move as that was on Star-Lord's part, it was such a well-written moment from the actual writers of the movie, because it was a callback to Guardians of the Galaxy 2 when Ego first revealed that he was the one that put the tumor in Quill's mom's head. The first thing Quill did was snap out of the trance he was in and punch him in the face. Or actually shot him. But yeah, like when he finds out that someone killed someone that he loves, he has a very irrational emotional response. And he knew that him shooting this version of Ego wasn't going to actually damage him because it was just like an avatar that he had created. But yeah, like it's such a well-written moment in that movie. And like, yeah, it just works. So major props to the writers of the Avengers, Infinity War specifically. I mean, they're all good, but yeah, Infinity War is what I'm talking about here. Next up, second question from Super Blue. This is also for both of us. Will you watch Survivor, David versus... Wait. I'm so confused. Will you watch Survivor, David versus Goliath to see Johnny Mundo turn it into Survivor Slamtown?
I'll probably check in periodically after the season's ended, so I'll go back and watch it. But I've never been a big Survivor fan, and while I'm so happy for Johnny that he's doing what he wants to do, that's not enough to really pull me in. So yeah, I mean, even in a wrestling context, he's gone to Impact, and like I watch the matches and clips that he's a part of, but I'm not regularly watching Impact Wrestling just so I can see him. Maybe I'll just like YouTube a compilation of his moments if he lasts long enough to warrant one. So we'll see.
I didn't even know that was a thing, so I can't answer the question. Will I watch Survivor David versus Goliath? No, I won't. Third question from Super Blue. What are your predictions for All In?
I really don't have to, because is the card complete? Like, I just really like, I've been keeping my finger somewhat on the pulse.
Oh, really here's the card. Here's the card. I found the card.
Okay.
Actually have pre-show matches. So the two pre-show matches are the Briscoe brothers versus two of the three members of SoCal Uncensored, Kazarian and Scorpio Sky. I'm guessing the Briscoes are going to win that. The second pre-show match is the Over the Budget Battle Royal, featuring Jordan Grace, Moose, Rocky Romero, Colt Cabana, Ethan Page, Hangman Page, Brian Cage, Billy Gunn, Jimmy Jacobs, Marco Stunt, Brandon Cutler, and Punishment Martinez.
Well, for the first match, I'll go Briscoes. For this Battle Royal, I'll go Colt Cabana.
I'm going to be rooting for Jordan Grace. I really want her to win.
Yeah, Jordan Grace is also... I wish she was in this Mae Young Classic.
Well, yeah, because the winner of the Over the Budget Battle Royal faces Jay Lethal in an ROH World Title match.
Okay, very interesting. Yeah, I'll still go Colt Cabana. What the hell?
I'm guessing if my girl Jordan Grace doesn't win, I'm just going to go with Ethan Page.
Okay.
Or no, wait, you know what? That's not Hangman Page. That's Adam Page. Ethan Page is all ego Ethan Page. I'm still going to pick him, but yeah, that's Ethan, all ego Ethan Page. Anyway, so then, God, these are in such a weird order. Rey Mysterio, Phoenix, and Bandito versus Nick Jackson, Matt Jackson, and Kota Ibushi. I'm going to go with the Golden Elite on this one.
Yeah, Golden Elite.
Joey Janela versus Hangman Page. I mean, Joey Janela is best known for doing really shitty things to his opponents. So I'm going to just continue with that trend and have him go over here.
Yeah, Joey Janela for the win.
Christopher Daniels versus Stephen Amell. I'm going to go with Amell.
I'm going to go with Amell as well.
Madison Rayne versus Britt Baker versus Chelsea Green versus Tessa Blanchard in a four-way.
I'll go Tessa.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Tessa as well. Kenny and Pentagon, I'll go with Kenny.
I'm actually going to go Pentagon here.
Nice. Jay Lethal versus your over budget battle royal winner. I'm gonna just keep the title on Lethal.
Yeah, agreed. Lethal.
Okada Skrull.
Okada.
Easily. And I'm pretty sure the only match left is Nick Aldis versus Cody Rhodes for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship.
Cody's going to win it, and it's going to be this big masturbatory thing.
I'm going to say they're going to keep it on Aldis. All right. I mean, if they didn't take the title off of Aldis to put it on Flip Gordon so that Flip could get booked for this show, I don't think they're going to take it off Aldis for fucking Cody's broke ass. So, yeah, there you go. There are all-in predictions. Fourth and question from Super Blue. How do you feel about Neville's WWE run, and where should he go next?
You know, I feel like it was great in parts, but as a whole, there was so much to be desired. Because I even went back. I wasn't able to watch the full WWE Championship match between him and Seth Rollins, but I watched the WWE truncated version in like 3 minutes, and the crowd really was so into it. You weren't kidding, dude. And like the things that Neville could do. If you wanted him to be a face, he could have been a top face in my mind, especially on a brand like SmackDown that's more wrestle heavy. As a heel, I think he proved his worth as a heel, as cruiserweight champion. You know, that was the guy. I think he had the look, he had the ability. Maybe he didn't necessarily have the face, you know, because I know we talked about like the ears and stuff, and like I'm not even trying to joke about that. You know, there is a certain aesthetic with wrestling, but I felt like the guy was a beast. I feel like the guy could have done so much more than what he was able to do. And, you know, I hope he's able to do that kind of work elsewhere. So, yeah, on the whole, I'd say not necessarily underwhelming, but so much more that could have been achieved that just wasn't. So,
yep, I pretty much ditto everything you just said. Neville had a solid WWE run that was cut short because of some old bullshit. And I hope that he goes to New Japan and or Lucha Underground. One of the two, if not, if it's possible, maybe both. It would be pretty awesome if he could get on like a Ricochet deal where he could work both. Up next, though, we've got 4 questions from Thomas Oliver. First up, with the current Ring of Honor and New Japan roster, how would you book the strongest possible show for Madison Square Garden next year?
Oh, God. So we're making a card?
Do you want me to go for? We'll just do like 5 big matches. I'll go first. Okay. And it's not going to be like, oh, I use this match, so you're not allowed to kind of thing. We can just do with what we think's best. I don't think that they're going to do like an overly heavy amount of like cross matches. I don't think they're going to try and have like every title be defended against a guy in the opposite promotion. I'm guessing it's going to be Kenny versus Naito for the IWGP World Title. Lethal versus Castle for the Ring of Honor World Title. Do you know who the current Ring of Honor television champion is?
No, I do not. Is it still
I'm gonna find it. It is Punishment Martinez. Jesus Christ. That's a hard match to figure out because he's like 6'7". So he's not like a natural matchup for any New Japan guys because they're all short. Maybe we have him drop the title to someone in Ring of Honor before then. Let's say he drops the title to Silas Young. Or no, that's who he won the title off of. Shit. Damn, man. I don't know. This is really difficult. We'll do the Young Bucks versus the Briscoes for the Ring of Honor tag titles, I guess. I don't know. I really just don't like Ring of Honor. I'm so sorry, you guys. I wish you had a more educated opinion on this, but I just don't care about Ring of Honor at all. Let me pull up the ROH roster. Because I know the New Japan roster pretty much by heart. ROH roster, much less certain about. They don't have their champions highlighted. Okay, it's just great. What the hell? Wrestlers. Here we go. Ring of Honor Wrestling. And yet again, champions. Here we go. Jay Lethal, Punishment Martinez. Okay, the Briscoes are, that's what I thought. They're the tag titles. Cody and the Young Bucks are the ROH World 6-Man champions. Sumi Sakai is the Women of Honor champion. All right, so just because this is more of a Ring of Honor show than a New Japan show, the only New Japan match that I'm going to book for it is Naito Omega for the IWGP World Title. As far as the Ring of Honor matches go, well, let's do Jay Lethal versus Ishii. Punishment Martinez versus Okada for the TV title. Briscoes versus Young Bucks for the Ring of Honor World Tag titles. Oh, you know what? I take that back because the Young Bucks are already in a 6-man tag match. So we'll do the Briscoes versus the Gorillas of Destiny for the ROH tag titles. And then the 6-man tag titles, Cody and the Young Bucks defending against the team of Zack Sabre Jr. and damn, I'm having trouble remembering their names. The two main Kanemaru, I think, is it Kanemaru who's the heavyweight, or is he a junior?
Kanemaru is a junior.
Right, so it's Taichi and God, who is Taichi's tag partner? It's not Taka. We'll just say Iizuka. Fuck it. It's ZSJ, Taichi, and Iizuka, and they're gonna win the trios titles. And then for the Women of Honor, we'll do Sumi Sakai versus Tennille Dashwood. Your turn.
Okay.
Here's a link to the ROH champions because that's the toughest thing for me to remember.
Okay. Let's get this going. All right. ROH.
Oh, man.
Redirecting. Yeah, booking cards is always frustrating because, like, I never know.
Well, it's a lot more frustrating when it's using a roster that you don't know.
Yeah.
Like, if you want me to book Ring of Honor, like, you know, I shouldn't have said that. I should have said, if you want me to book, like, Lucha Underground in New Japan, then sure, I can do that. Or, like, Lucha Underground in NXT, or NXT and Lucha Underground, or NXT and New Japan, or even, like, main roster shit with any of those promotions. Like, you guys know what we watch, and Ring of Honor is not one of them. So.
Right. Okay, so somebody said, maybe it was Alex Foster, but Punishment Martinez, the number one contender to the world television title, is Chris Sabin. Originally, I would do Sabin Shelley, but I heard Shelley was retiring. I don't know if he stuck to it or if he changed his mind. So let me go through the roster. I'd have Sabin win, keep the title.
It's a Ring of Honor show, Javaris. They don't deserve Suzuki.
You know what? I see Jay White on this roster, so Chris Sabin versus Jay White for the world television title. ROH World Championship, we said Jay Lethal was champ. I'd have Jay Lethal go on another monster run. I mean, clearly the company cares about Lethal. And then I would build up. God, who could we even build up? God, ROH, man. Jesus Christ. Let's see. God, I really don't like anybody here. Who the hell could I make?
I know, right, dude? It's so bad.
We can't do like New Japan crossovers, like New Japan people challenging for the ROH World title?
No, you can if you want to. Yeah, go for it.
Then I guess I'll do Jay Lethal versus Ishii. Freaking Omega's world champion right now. So you figure next year, I would just do Omega versus Naito. Let me go back to the champions page. World Tag Team, ROH World Tag titles, I would say the Briscoes versus Sonata and Evil. Who are the heavyweight tag champions again in New Japan? I'm trying to...
I think the Young Bucks are, aren't they?
Yeah, you're right. The Young Bucks are. God, the Young Bucks have like every tag title, it seems like. So I do the Young Bucks against... God, what's another good team?
Do you want the Young Bucks to be defending the IWGP tag titles, or do you want them to be tagging with Cody and defending the Ring of Honor 6-man titles?
I've been having them defend the IWGP tag titles, so I guess. Damn it! You know what? Killer Elite Squad. That works. I think that.
Yeah, that works.
Okada versus Suzuki. And a 30-minute an Iron Man match wouldn't work. They've gone 30 minutes and done it all. So maybe Okada, Suzuki in a last man standing match.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You're just calling for homicide.
Absolutely. As far as the Women of Honor Championship, how many women do ROH even have on their roster?
Oh, they don't give a single shit about the women's division, dude. They give zero fucks.
Okay, no. Okay, Women of Honor is a separate thing. Okay. Yeah, I would agree about the Tennille because she just seems like the best one, or at least the most familiar to me out of the bunch. What New Japan championships? Okay, a junior heavyweight championship. I'd have Ospreay against Hiromu because I think Hiromu would be healthy by then.
No, dude, this is in like April, isn't it?
Oh, I thought they said for next year.
Yeah, but still, Hiromu was supposed to be out till like June.
Damn. Then I guess Ospreay. Shit.
Bushi?
Bushi could work. Ospreay versus Bushi. Am I done making matches yet? Do I have to make any more
Yeah,
matches?
dude, you really didn't have to go as far as you did.
Okay, let's move on.
I didn't know I was gonna have to tell you when to stop.
Right.
Second question from Thomas Oliver. Thoughts on WWE's interest in Pentagon and Phoenix? And then he also asked within this question, is this a fear signing? So first of all, I don't think Pentagon is sort of the type that would do well in WWE. And I'm sure Phoenix would do well until they would saddle him with 205 Live, and then he would just become a member of the Lucha House Party and disappear. Is this a fear signing? No, it's these guys have buzz, and we want everybody who has buzz signing.
Right. Yeah, I just completely agree with that. There's really not much I can add to that. We can move on.
I'm going to let you have a shot at this one first, John. Question 3 from Thomas Oliver. With Slammiversary 2018 being well received by the fans, do you think it is a turning point for Impact?
No more than any of the other turning points in their history have been.
Thank you. This is no more of a turning point than like the Ultimate Deletion or any big guys. Impact is doing cool stuff again moment that we've seen over the course of the last few years. I'm sure they're going to get their notoriety at the time, and I'm sure people were happy with it at the time. But it's not. What do you really even mean by turning Impact? Is this the point where they start getting more and more viewers every week? We've seen no, they haven't gotten more and more. They've actually dropped viewers since the week after Slammiversary. So no, it's not a turning point. Fourth question from Thomas Oliver. Have you seen any of the MLW, that's Major League Wrestling stuff at all? It's got a great old territory feel. Thomas, I agree with you that it has a little bit of an old territory feel, but personally, I'm not a big fan of that feel. And because of that, I've never really gotten into the MLW stuff.
Yeah, I can't really comment on MLW either. I think I've heard about it quite a bit through Twitter, but I haven't actually watched anything to my knowledge. So
I bet the guys on your Twitter that despise Ospreay and Skrull would fucking love MLW.
Probably.
All right. Up next, we've got 3 questions from Mark Schoeneman. There is a 4th, but that's much further down the line. He just got that in today. So for the first 3, first up for both of us, what are all of the negative consequences that Total Divas and or Total Bellas have had on the women in WWE?
Oh, God. You go first on this.
Okay. So first off, the earliest example I can think of, I believe the mixed tag match involving the Bellas and Naomi and Cameron at WrestleMania a few years ago that got pulled would not have gotten pulled if it wasn't for the sake of creating a story for Total Divas. So that was the first big consequence. Another consequence, honestly, I think that the argument can legitimately be made that accepting the invitation to join the cast of Total Divas was the first domino to fall in the line of dominoes that ended up ruining Paige's career.
Yeah. Oh, geez. Yeah, that's actually really true.
Because not only did she then start to focus less on her actual job, which was being a wrestler or a sports entertainer, and focus more on the Total Divas stuff and like the vanity of it and that kind of stuff, but she also started to get kind of her dirty laundry aired out in public. People started to be more judgmental about her. I don't think she would have stuck with Del Bitchbag for as long as she did if it wasn't for the Total Divas stuff. You could make the argument that he was a bad influence on her. I don't necessarily want to say he was for sure, but people have made that argument before. The whole drug test thing might not have happened if not for Total Divas. So yeah, there were a lot of dominoes that went into effect because of Total Divas that you could definitely make the argument at the end were the cause of the end of Paige's career, because she had her back fucked up and she probably handled that the wrong way. And then she came back too early. And there was just a lot wrong, and I think Total Divas had a lot to do with the downfall there. I think it's definitely safe to say that Nikki Bella's long title reign was almost entirely due to Total Divas. And that set the division back a few years from after all the work AJ Lee put into it to make the title credible. Yeah, man, like there's a lot of repercussions from this shit.
Yeah, I mean, I think you articulated most of them beautifully. There's really not much that I can add, especially when you brought Paige into the mix, which I didn't even think about, but holy fuck, you're right about that. Yeah, it just really was not good for the women at all, except for those that were part of the show. And even then, it was good for them in a way that really wasn't even directly related to wrestling to me, and more just about.
Yeah, honestly, I give props to both Cameron, who is no longer in the business, but I gave props to her at the time, and to Mandy Rose. I give props to both of those women for experiencing Total Divas, knowing that by being on Total Divas, they weren't getting better at their actual job, which was being a wrestler, and then leaving the show voluntarily. I praise them for that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because they know what their job is and they wanted to get better at that job. And I feel like.
And I think Cameron did before getting released, obviously. I think she did show significant improvement when she was down in NXT. She had a match with Asuka that wasn't half bad. I think Cameron was kind of an example of a really unfortunate release because of the fact that she was clearly improving in my eyes. And now Mandy Rose got called up way too early, so she's not really going to have too much time to improve. But you could tell that she made a hell of a lot more progress in NXT without being on Total Divas than Eva Marie made the entire time she was in developmental.
Exactly. I completely agree. Yeah.
All right, so let's see that was our first question from Mark. So the second question from Mark, Johnny Scumbag, we need a Johnny Scumbag promo on the whole Becky situation, please.
Oh boy, my girl Becky. All right. First of all, Becky, I know people have been welcoming you to the dark side, but seeing as how I'm kind of the gatekeeper of that, I have to agree with the other people that say that you're completely justified. So, with that said, we got quite a bit to talk about. I don't understand, well, mainly because I'm not fucking stupid. I don't understand how anybody could feel, Becky, that you're in the wrong here and that you're welcome into the dark side. Don't get me wrong. I would love to have you. You'd be a fine addition. You could finally take care of Johnny Goodfellow and stupid Kairi Sane. But I can't because you scratched, you clawed, you fought your fucking heart out to get a title shot that in everybody's mind was rightfully yours to begin with. And then somebody that had to get her boobs replaced because, she didn't get it taken care of when they ruptured. Oh, it's fine. I'll just risk death just so that I can have this match with Asuka and end the streak and make it utterly meaningless, thus ruining everything for everybody else. No, that's fine. She's going to waltz back in, beat Carmella one time, and get the same title shot that you had to beat the whole division to do. And then she's going to go on, pin you behind your back. You've got Carmella in this armor. She's going to hit natural selection with your back turn, going to pin you, and then she's going to cry that, you're throwing our friendship away for this, gesturing at the title. First of all, way to disrespect the title that you stabbed your friend in the back to win in the first place. Second of all, yeah, she fucking will, because you did it first. You did it first. As far as I am concerned, Becky is not a scumbag. She is merely defending herself. Now, again, if the roles were reversed and Becky did what Charlotte did, I'd be happy to welcome her into the Scum Squad. But what terrifies me is if anybody's coming to collect their card, it's Charlotte. Which, I mean, hell, nepotism in the Scum Squad, that could give us access to places we never thought we'd go, but you're seriously going to tell me that Becky is the villain here? Sir. And by sir, I mean Vince, and by Vince, I mean you're old and in the way, and you've probably lived long enough. As somebody that sees eating puppies as a genuine form of sustenance, I think I'm a pretty good judge of what's scummy and what's not. And Becky Lynch is the furthest thing from. Don't you dare try and tell us that what we see with our eyes, what we hear with our ears, the ovation she gets and the fire in her eyes is anything but evil, because it's not. It's a person that's tired, that's weary, that knows that she should be champion, and we know it along with her, and yet you still play the game of, but Charlotte's the victim. No, the only victim is me for having my intelligence perpetually insulted, and the only victim is Becky by, again, in her own words, not being blonde enough, not having a tan, and not having the right, how did she put it so eloquently, enhancements. So Why don't you enhance your perception, ass faces, and fucking get it right that Becky Lynch is our women's champion? And Becky, if you're ever in the mood to have a real heel turn, I don't know, maybe you run over a child, maybe you push somebody over the barricade, or, pull them over the barricade and beat them down like you did, Charlotte, that's just an innocent fan, then by all means, call me. I'd love to take you out to dinner. But in the meantime, just beat Charlotte's ass, get the championship that's yours, and fuck anybody that stands in your way. And as you said yourself after meeting with the Sheik, which is an amazing endorsement, by the way, I know me and Sheiky Baby go way back, make her humble for all of us. That's what I got to say about that.
Excellent job, my friend. Third question from Mark Schoeneman. Of the 4 G1s that you've covered, rank them from best to worst.
So we started at 25.
I'll go first here.
Oh, it's 28. Okay.
So for me, the best G1 that we've covered was actually this year's G1. I thought this year's G1 was exceptional. I thought that the B block specifically was absolutely incredible, and we got some of the best matches ever. Second place, I'll say last year, G1 27. Third place, and I'm going to say like G1 27 and third place are actually really close. It's more like a 2A and 2B here. But third place would be G1 25, and then in dead last for me would be G1 26. So that's my answer.
I think I more or less agree with that. Because this past G1, even just for the Ishii matches alone, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That was really good. The year that Kenny won, was that G1 26?
Yep.
I remember him having some really good matches, especially the match with Naito in the B block final. That was really well done. So I may put that in second. So 28, 26. 25 I'll put in last, because didn't Tanahashi win that? And fuck Tanahashi. At least for now. I was actually more positive on him this year. So 25 will be last, which means 27 will be in third place. There you go.
All right, there we go. Up next, well, we've got 4 questions from Iconic Player 1. It's been a while since we've seen Iconic. He's in the Discord, but he doesn't show up very often. First up, for John, the question is, Scumbag and Goodfellow attend couples counseling together with Dr. Steiner, PhD. How poorly do you see this session going?
How do I see it going? It's gonna be fucking awful. That's what it is. I hate the piece of shit. Do you know what he did today? He was baking chocolate chip muffins. Who the fuck does that?
That sounds delicious.
Shut your face. Nobody asked you.
The question's for John, not Johnny Scumbag. Go away, you piece of shit.
Listen. I'm a very complex individual, okay? I had a little bit of hate come out there. I think that the two of them can get along. I know that one wants to adopt puppies and the other one wants to stab them, but I think middle ground can be found here. And so I'm tentatively optimistic, especially with Dr. Steiner. I mean, he's a mathematician and he's a therapist. I think that's a match made in heaven, personally. So I would absolutely trust him with the care of Goodfellow and Scumbag. And yeah, I think it would go well. I'm tentatively optimistic.
All right. So we got a $2 super chat from TPA Cliff. Since I had same question as Mark, replacement question? What? It was the old F-bomb rant on Vince. I thought you told Cliff about this.
I did tell him about it, because it was originally like rant, F-bomb on Becky, but then he changed it to Vince. So I thought that like that was his new thing that he wanted me to do, like a new thing. Well, like, I told Cliff about it, because then Cliff even responded like, "Oh, I do what I want." I know I told Cliff about this. So
yeah, Cliff. I mean, if you wanna have a new question, your actual question that you're going to be replacing is still a little while away, so we can just swap the new one out for that. Second question from Iconic Player 1. With Jericho pulling a Lesnar, do you think it's going to damage the IWGP Intercontinental Championship's credibility? You know what? To me, it is yes, to answer your question, but really to take a bit of a deeper dive, I don't think the Intercontinental title had all that much credibility to begin with, because it was like, it's kind of getting hot-shotted a little bit. It was like Goto had it, and Goto isn't the most credible, and then he dropped it to Elgin because Elgin pinned Taichi. and then he won it back like a week later. So,
oh, dude, that's a never openweight title. You're talking about the Intercontinental title, aren't you?
oh shit, yeah, that's right. Damn, I actually lost track of what title was which. Okay, well then, even more so, yes, it's going to lose credibility because I believe Jericho won it off Naito, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Yeah, that's way worse. That's way worse. So yeah, I mean, anytime a title doesn't get defended, it loses credibility, and especially when it doesn't get defended for long periods of time. And we're probably not going to see Jericho until Wrestle Kingdom 13, 14. I don't know which one it is.
Yeah, 13 it would be. 13.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess since this question for both, I would agree with that. I think the credibility problem is only short term. I think the moment that Jericho drops it, which it may be to Evil, it may be to somebody else, I do see it being to a stronger competitor, mainly stronger in the sense that they have greater visibility. You know, they show up more, blah, blah, blah. So I do think the IC title will be fine. But I really do hate that it's on Jericho because we didn't even see the Intercontinental Champion in the past G1, which I think could have opened up more opportunities for guys that were just like losing. Maybe you get an upset win over the IC champion, create more challengers in that division. But Dad Bod Jericho just didn't even want to do a G1. Like, again, I say Suzuki's 50, and he did a full G1 with some stellar matches in there. And Dad Bod Jericho's like, nope, got to worry about my cruise. So, yeah, I just can't wait for a new IC champion.
All right, third question from Iconic Player 1. He said Asian edition. I'm just going to go with Japanese edition because all three of the women that he mentioned were Japanese, and Asian is a little more vague than it needs to be. So Japanese edition, date, marry, one night stand, Kairi Sane, Asuka, Io.
I would marry Kairi, obviously. I'd say date Asuka and then one night stand Io.
You know, I'm along those same lines, but hear me out here.
Okay. Oh, here it comes.
I would swap Kairi and Io. I would marry Io and probably would do the one night stand thing with Kairi. And then, like, yeah, I think we both agree that Asuka is the date because she's like really
cool.
It's of elimination.
Yeah, like she seems cool, but I don't know if it'd be like, you know, a long-term thing. And right. I really have nothing against Io, but it's like, it's Kairi for me. Like, of course I want to spend my life with that. So yeah, I get you, man. I feel you.
Yeah. All right. So then fourth and final question from Iconic. What are your thoughts on student loan debt?
I think it's fucking stupid. And I once heard in Chile, this was several years ago, that somebody like burned up like all the student loan debt. It was like this big thing. And I was so proud of them. I think it's one of the most insidious concepts in American education. I don't understand how you expect anybody to better themselves or society as a whole when they've got debt crushing them. I hate to use like words like this because I know people would be like, oh, that's hyperbolic or whatever. I think it's evil. I honestly think the concept of, oh, you got to pay us money back for wanting to invest in yourself and invest in the world and just becoming better. And there are people in their 40s, maybe even 50s and higher, still paying that money back. I just think it's fucking gross. That's just my opinion on it. You?
Yeah, it's so funny because like everyone seems to have problem with predatory lending when it comes to housing, but when we get to 17 and 18-year-old kids who don't even know how to fill out a fucking tax form, much less what they're going to do with the rest of their lives. Oh, no, yeah, totally. Give them the loan. Make them pay back 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, $100,000 for the prime of their lives when they don't actually know what they're doing. Yeah, that's just great.
Yeah, so I guess we can move on to our next question.
First of four questions. Oh, actually, you know what? It's not four. It's three. It's first of three questions from Hazardous Something. We haven't heard from Hazardous Something in a little while, but he got in three questions this month. Really two questions and then a little game that's going to be a lot of fun for us to play. First up, can you tell us what is your top 10 matches from the 4 G1 climaxes that you've covered?
Oh, God, top 10.
Dude, yeah. Here's the thing. Because it's 10 and that's just way too many, I think we're going to do the back and forth thing here where we each end up naming 5 and we combine for 10.
Okay.
So I'll let you go first if you just want to name your number one favorite G1 match that we have seen in our 4 years covering the tournament.
Fuck.
Do you want me to go first?
No, you know what? I think I'm gonna go with I'm probably even gonna get the wrong G1 too. That's the crazy thing. I'm gonna go with freaking Ishii Okada. And I know that was either 25 or 26. It's 25.
Oh shit, yeah. Oh my god.
Because that was the one where he did a tombstone to Okada, and I was.
But it wasn't even a tombstone; it was a sitting tombstone. The way that Austin got his neck broken.
Yeah, like holy fuck.
Oh god. Do you remember who won that match? Was it Ishii?
It was Ishii. Yeah, it was Ishii.
Okay, then I'm guessing that was 26.
So that'll be my first entry.
Yeah, that was 26.
Okay.
Because 25 Okada beat Ishii, so it was 26.
Okay.
And my first entry is going to be Ishii Naito from last year.
I was gonna name that match too if you didn't. I'm glad you did. Naito Omega from 26, B Block Final.
Okada Suzuki from 27.
Nice. You know what? I'll even say ZSJ Naito from this year because that Zack Driver finish was fucking great.
Oh, it just killed me inside though.
Yeah, I know.
I'll go Ishii. Oh shit! I think let me check to make sure. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so yeah, Ishii Omega from this year.
Okay. Let me think. God damn it.
I think I'm the only person that's named a match. Or no, you just named ZSJ Naito. I was gonna say I thought I was the only person with Suzuki Okada to name a match that didn't involve Ishii, but you had one too.
So wait, you said Suzuki Okada from what year? Was that the year that they went to a draw?
Last year. Yes, last year.
Okay. Yeah, because I love that match.
We got a $2 super chat from Cliff. Ishii is to G1 what Vince thinks HBK was to WrestleMania.
I would agree with that. I'll say Suzuki Tanahashi from this year because even though Tanahashi won and had the comeback, like that beginning was fucking amazing.
I think that was the 7th match that you've listed. And what was it again?
Ishii
Tanahashi.
No, Tanahashi Suzuki. Yeah.
Okay, that was from this year. All right, and I mean everyone was already talking about it, so I might as well just go there. Ishii Ibushi from this year.
Okay. Tanahashi Ishii from I want to say last year. That's where we saw Ishii's picture perfect sharpshooter.
Naito Tanahashi from 25.
How many more matches do I have? One more or are we done?
You know what? You go 2 more. I'll go 2 more. You can go 2 more.
Okay, 2 more. Fuck.
Or no, you know what? That was 8. So you get 1 more. I get 1 more.
Kota Ibushi versus AJ Styles from 25.
Awesome. And my last one's going to be Goto Ishii from 25.
Awesome. All right.
There we go, guys. Oh my God, that's just so many great matches. Next up, our second question from Hazardous Something. He wants us to write a long-term feud, and he said 1 year minimum, with 2 guys from any era, any promotions, no restrictions. Who do you choose, and how would you book it?
Okay.
It's very open end, I noticed.
Yeah. 1 year feud, beginning to end. Who would do it? God, a lot of these questions today. I feel like
I know, right? Like
I'm just like
it's supposed to be questions, not thought exercises.
And you know, I feel like we've said that before, and they've only gotten worse, right?
It's because our opinions on things.
Yeah, god damn it, man. Why do you my brain like this?
Oh man. All right. 2 guys from any era, any promotion, no restrictions. Who? Oh God. I feel like we need to start like preparing for this shit ahead of time or something.
We really do, dude. Because like, goddamn. So no, you can like cross air. So like, I could do like, for example, like Benoit ZSJ. Is that a possibility?
Yeah. Like that's the idea. It's like any Anybody from any time period, from any promotion. You could have it take place in any promotion you want with no restrictions or anything like that. So yeah.
Yeah, I would just do Benoit ZSJ. You know, Benoit, he would come back to New Japan, say, you know, when I was first here, I was Wild Pegasus, but I want to succeed as the Crippler. ZSJ would be Intercontinental Champion. And, you know, he's like, you know, you've been displaced as the best technical wrestler in the world because that's me. You know, and then you would just have them. You'd have Benoit maybe win a couple matches, you know, maybe against Evil. Suzuki would be one, you know, because beating, you know, at least the mentor at the time. But I think also at this time you can kind of see that ZSJ was coming into his own. Saber Gun doesn't seem like it's far behind. You know, maybe at God, I don't even know if we're doing a year. I'd have to go from like what New Beginning in Sapporo onward. Jesus, that's a long time.
I have no clue, brother.
I don't either, man. God damn. I honestly really don't like these questions because like I want to give good answers, but it's like my brain just goes in a million directions. So yeah, so you know what? Starting in the calendar year, January to whatever. What is the first pay-per-view called? Is it New Beginning in Sapporo? I feel like yeah, it is, right?
What are you asking about? What about when
the first pay-per-view of New Japan's calendar year? That's New Beginning in Sapporo, right?
Well, no, it would be Wrestle Kingdom.
Oh yeah, shit. But then after Wrestle Kingdom, so Wrestle Kingdom's the end of the year. The first pay-per-view post Wrestle Kingdom is that New Beginning in Sapporo.
New Year Dash. It's not a pay-per-view, but they have New Year Dash the night after Wrestle Kingdom, and that's like a big deal to set up matches going forward.
Okay.
And then yeah, they have 2 or 3, I think, New Beginning shows, and then I don't even know what comes after that.
Okay, so just to kind of haphazardly do something. In fact, maybe I should pull up a New Japan pay-per-view schedule. Pro wrestling.
Good luck finding one, dude. They're a real bitch to find.
But so Wrestle Kingdom, we have ZSJ beat Ishii for the IC championship because fuck you. If I'm gonna have to do this, it's gonna be champions that I like. So they have a barn burner for the Intercontinental title. ZSJ says that, you know, this championship, there was a time that it was more prestigious than the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, and that because he's the greatest Intercontinental champion, it's only a matter of time before it's returned to that status. Then the Osaka show, we have him come out, you know, Suzuki-gun, have them turn on Suzuki, beat him down, and, you know, now it becomes Saber-gun. Then at the New Beginning in Sapporo, we'll say he beat Suzuki for the Intercontinental Championship on the line, and, you know, that takes care of that. And, you know, we'll just say that he moves on there. Also at that show, though, it's announced, like, you know, Benoit shows up on the Titantron. He's coming back to New Japan. His WWE deal's expired. He comes in the show after. I'm just trying to get a good listing here. Okay, yeah, so we'll do Invasion Attack next. Invasion Attack, he cuts a promo on the crowd saying, you know, he's back. And, you know, he's been seeing Zack Sabre Jr. talk about how he's the best technical wrestler in the world, and he would like to test that claim if possible. Suzuki interrupts him, says, you know, I don't really care what you want, Chris. Zack betrayed me. He took my faction, and I'm not going to stop until he's dead. And Suzuki means that quite literally. After all, he's Suzuki. He's fucking crazy. Then, you know, they fight, but a match doesn't happen. We have them in tag matches and random shit like that until Wrestling Dontaku, where, you know, they finally face off. Benoit beats Suzuki after, say, like 20 minutes or so. So that's Wrestling Dontaku. And then Dominion, the big show, we have Zack Sabre Jr. He knows that Benoit's been calling him out, pursuing him. He's like, oh, you know, I know you want this Intercontinental Championship, so I'll face you for it in a submission match. Zack wins via pass out after orienteering with Napalm Death. But because Benoit never tapped out, you know, he feels a certain way about it. He wants another shot at it. I'm trying to find out when the tag league happens, or maybe we already passed it, which that would just be fucking great. Whenever the tag league happens, you know, let's just say it's after, because I just need to get through this. I would put them together as a Strange Bedfellows tag team. they would make it all the way to the finals, but Zach would turn on Benoit, and let's just say that Evil and Sonata win. They continue their rivalry. Let's see what the next pay-per-view is. King of Pro Wrestling, Benoit, ZSJ, Elgin in a triple threat. ZSJ makes Elgin tap out because, Elgin's a former IC champion. Benoit, again, is pissed. He just feels like he's chasing ZSJ everywhere. Then we'll say at Power Struggle, Benoit faces Tanahashi in a number one contendership match. He wins. That's in November. What's the December show? I'm trying to find a December show, but I don't think they have any shows in December that I'm seeing.
December is World Tag League.
December is World Tag League. Okay, so, god damn it. Then just kind of switch it around a bit. Do the World Tag League in December. Get to the finals. They still lose. Fit the Tanahashi final in there. And then ultimately, Wrestle Kingdom, I would have them, just face off in a regular match. Benoit finally wins, becomes Intercontinental Champion. I know that was very haphazard, but I'm really not good at questions like this. That's the best I could do. What about you, Ashton? Have you thought of anything?
No, I haven't, to be honest with you. I've actually been thinking about just who I want to do it with, and I still haven't really arrived on that. So, the first thought was like, let's just literally do Suzuki Ishii the way that they've been building to it, but then have it culminate at Wrestle Kingdom 13. But yeah, man, I don't even know. The thing is, like, you kind of have a go-to in Benoit, and you kind of have a modern contemporary for him in ZSJ. I don't really have any easy, like, my favorite versus a modern version of my favorite kind of situation that I can go to.
Right.
So I would just do like, Mil Muertes versus Tommaso Ciampa. How's that?
Okay, that's interesting.
We would actually probably be best off to do it in Lucha Underground, even though I would love to have it on NXT because then we could build it around takeovers, but doing it in Lucha Underground is a little more difficult. So what I'm going to do is, because of Lucha Underground with their roster rotation, basically I'm just going to go month by month and just describe what they're going to do in each month. So with the 12th month, then obviously being Ultima Lucha.
Right.
It's going to be a 1-year program as described in the question. And it's going to culminate in a loser leaves Lucha match where obviously then Ciampa would leave so he could go back to NXT and keep doing amazing work there. So we're going to start with Ciampa coming in and immediately going up to Antonio Cueto and saying, I want a match with the biggest, baddest dude you got. Cueto sets up a match between Ciampa and Matanza because, of course, Cueto thinks Matanza is the biggest, baddest dude they got. And then Ciampa would never really get a chance to actually beat Matanza because Katrina would come out and say, because Antonio Cueto is very public about everything. So he would come out and he would say, we have a new, I'm not going to do the voice because it'll literally kill my voice if I do his voice after 2 hours of talking. But yeah, Cueto would come out and say, we have a new luchador in the temple. And he specifically told me that he wanted to face the biggest, baddest guy that I got. So he's going to face my son, the monster Matanza Cueto. He comes out, Ciampa comes out, and then Katrina comes out before the end of the match. She wouldn't actually come out before the match starts. The match would go for like 5-6 minutes. It would be kind of even, but it would definitely look like Matanza was about to win. But then Katrina would come out and say, Antonio Cueto, you made a mistake. The biggest, baddest guy in the temple isn't your son. It's Mil Muertes. And then Mil would come out, attack both the guys in the ring, leave them laying. And then really the following week, we would have Mil versus Matanza. And I guess Ciampa would interact in that. He would come out and he would just, we would basically, it would turn out to be a triple threat by month 2. We would do a triple threat because we're doing like every other week kind of booking here. So
right.
We're going to do a triple threat Matanza versus Mil versus Ciampa. And we would have Ciampa pin Mil in this situation.
Nice. I like that.
And then we would, because Ciampa pinned Mil, then naturally, Cueto is like, yeah, fuck you, Mil. You're not that tough. And Matanza would get another singles match against Ciampa, but again, that would get interrupted, not by Katrina, but just straight up Mil just runs in and beats the fuck out of Ciampa, kind of ignoring Matanza. And then we would get Grave Consequences, Mil versus Ciampa one-on-one. Ciampa would win that again, and then we would do the old resurrection thing with Mil in month 3. So Mil comes back from the dead. Mil goes after Matanza, actually beats him in a singles match, and we can break that now because Matanza's already lost in singles before by this point. So Mil beats Matanza in a singles match, and then he sets his eyes on Ciampa. But by this point, Ciampa has kind of built up a little bit of a following because, oh my God, you beat Mil Muertes. This is huge. You buried Mil Muertes. This is even more huge. So he currently has Jeremiah Crane, because I'm ignoring the fact that Jeremiah Snake is even a thing. Ew. And we'll say Jeremiah Crane and Joey Ryan as sort of like his followers. So Mil has to run through those guys, and he does that in month 4. Then in week 5, we get a 3-on-1 beatdown where Ciampa, Crane, and Ryan all kind of attack Mil in the locker room area and beat the shit out of him. Maybe they use like a baseball bat or some shit. And they really just beat the shit out of him and take him out for a little while. So then month 6, we don't see Mil at all. Ciampa and his 2 boys contend for and end up winning the trios titles. And then in month 7, they're about to defend the trios titles when Mil shows up and causes a disqualification and beats the shit out of everyone. And then in month 8, we have Mil being a little bit more tactful, which is a word that I never thought I'd use from Muertes. And we have him basically going out of his way to help the team facing the trio that Ciampa is leading to win the titles without causing a disqualification, basically just to screw Ciampa over, so that then in month 9, Ciampa's really pissed, challenges Mil to a death match, which Mil ends up winning. So we think Ciampa's dead, but then, you know, fucking Crane, who I don't know how he ended up being Crane instead of Snake, but he, you know, he figures out a way to bring back Mil from the dead in month 10. He runs Rampage on the roster because Ciampa, or he brings back Ciampa from the dead. I'm sorry. Ciampa is running amok on the roster in month 11. I don't know what we're doing in month 12, and then in month 12 or in month 11, we're in month 12. We're going to do the loser leaves lucha. We'll do a no mas match because I think at that point it would actually be warranted. Yeah, no mas. Loser leaves lucha match. Ciampa loses, and he's done. So finally, we can move on from this question. And now we get to something that's actually a lot more fun. And guys, I'm so sorry that we had to kind of bore you with the long, year-long fantasy booking. We did get a $5 super chat from Cliff, but I will get to that when we would have normally gotten to his question that he had already prepared for us. And that's in a little while. But for now, I apologize for the long, boring fantasy booking segment, but we do have a much more fun, much more interactive game here that we want you guys to get involved in. I see we've got 17 people watching now. John, I know you got a message from Hazardous something. I don't know if it was on Twitter or Discord or however that works. You might want to check.
Oh, yeah, this question. I was kind of dreading this question.
I'm not dreading it. I'm looking forward to it. We've got a TWitWoW Fantasy Interactive 10-man gauntlet match. John and I are each going to choose 5 wrestlers, but we can't tell them to each other until they're about to be up in the actual gauntlet match. So, John, you got your message from Hazardous something. I got mine. We are just going to go in the order that he told us, and I want to know who your first guy is, and I'll tell you who my first guy is for this gauntlet match. And then what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to have everyone in chat vote on who would win the matchup in the gauntlet, and then we'll move on to the next part. So who's your first representative, John?
According to the rules, my first representative for this gauntlet match will be Sonata.
And mine will be Minoru Suzuki. So chat, who wins in a match between Minoru Suzuki and Seiya Sonata? One representative from Suzuki-gun and a representative from LIJ. James, fuck off. We're not answering your questions again. You can rewind the goddamn video. versus Sonata. I see TPA Cliff already said Suzuki. I'm going to let you guys keep on filing it in. There's Javar Suzuki kills Sonata. Suzuki. I think it's pretty unanimous. It's Suzuki. So, John, who is your second competitor after Sonata?
Adam Cole, baby.
Oh, shit. So, guys, it is a worn down Suzuki versus a fresh Adam Cole, baby. Who is picking up the win here? This is a much tougher one to me. I would be hard pressed to take on either one of these guys, but Suzuki, if it was a fresh versus fresh, I would probably say Suzuki, but everyone's kind of saying Adam Cole. Alex Foster says Suzuki, but everyone else is saying Cole, so we're going to go with Adam Cole, baby. But then the music hits, and we're not even going to use the Lucha Underground music. We're going all the way back. Now listen, this ain't no make-believe. Come on, open your eyes and see. Johnny Mundo is taking on a weakened Adam Cole. Who wins, guys?
The universe.
This is unfair.
Yeah, really.
James says Adam Cole. Cliff says Adam Cole. Oh shit! Hypothesis says Adam Cole. Oh god, you guys! Oh man, there's Foster with a Mundo. Mark says, "All right, God, that's it." Adam Cole picks up the win. He's cleaning up, guys. He's cleaning up. Up third. Oh, this cheat code, guys. This is too easy. We've got a worn down Adam Cole. And the third opponent, or the third member of my team, Bianca Belair, comes out. Who wins? A very weakened Adam Cole or a brand new, fresh Bianca Belair? I'm going to leave it up to you guys. Oh, man. I'm gonna just kind of wait around and see what chat has to say about this one. James says Adam Cole again. Mark says Bianca. Foster says neither. Cliff says Bianca. Javara says Adam Cole. Asia says Bianca. So we've got 3 Biancas and 2 Adam Coles. Hypothesis says Belair. Racist Fan Rock says Adam Cole. Oh, man, this is close. It's 4-3. Abel. Wow, Abel. I didn't know Abel was suddenly heel. It's a 4-4 vote. We need a 9th. We need a tiebreaker.
Oh, Abel, that comment gave me life. Holy fucking shit. Oh, we got our vote. Bianca wins.
What?
Well, because didn't Jennifer, isn't that a new vote?
Oh, I see it. Okay, there it is. There's Bianca. Okay. So Bianca picks up the win. And we can move on to your third competitor, John.
Okay. Ivelisse.
Okay. Ivelisse versus a slightly worn down Bianca Belair. Again, we're gonna bring it back. We're gonna let you guys vote. Ivelisse versus Bianca Belair. Cliff says Bianca. I'm gonna let it keep going here. Hypothesis says Ivelisse. Asia says Bianca. Racist Fan Rock says Ivelisse. So we're 2-2. We're 2-2. Abel with Bianca. Cliff already had a vote. Javara says Bianca. Mark says Ivelisse. James votes for Ivelisse. We're at 4-4 again. We need a 9th vote, you guys. We need another tiebreaker. This is not cool. Fuck off, James, for only voting for whoever John picks, you piece of shit.
Oh shit! James Ashton rivalry, the best rivalry of 2018.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Brandon with the tiebreaker. Brandon says Ivelisse, so I have to choose my next representative, and my next representative is going to be, oh god, I have to pick somebody that people don't fucking hate. Jake the Snake Roberts comes out and is going to be going one-on-one with a worn down Ivelisse. He's coming out. He's got Damien in hand everything. So, guys, Jake the Snake Roberts versus Ivelisse. This is a tough one. I'm going to leave it up to chat again to determine who wins. James votes for Evilise. Hypothesis says Jake. Cliff says Jake. Just keep on going, guys. Racist fan says Evilise. Mark says Evilise. Keep on going, guys. We only have 5 votes so far. We've gotten 8 or 9. And no, it's not old and possibly over Jake the Snake. It's prime Jake the Snake, you jackass. Abel said Jake. Yes, Jake is, Jake's as sober as you could have expected him to be in 1991.
Oh my God.
There's a vote for Jake Roberts from Brandon. We're up to 7 votes. I think we might have lost a couple people. All right. I mean, if that's it, if we don't have anybody else voting, I don't see any other votes. So as long as we're going to call it here, it looks like Jake the Snake Roberts picked up the win. So John, who is your 4th representative?
Well, according to this, let's see. Okay, my 4th representative, I guess I'll go with Evil. So
Evil from New Japan, Evil from LIJ, okay? So we've got Evil versus Jake the Snake Roberts. And again, we're putting it up to the chat to decide. It's the vote to who's going to win here. We've got Jake the Snake Roberts versus Evil. Cliff says Evil. Hypothesis says Jake. James says Evil. Mark says Evil. We've got 3-1 right now. I'm waiting for more votes to come in. Abel says Evil. Okay, that's it. It's unanimous. Alex Foster sealed it with the 5th vote. That's Evil. So Evil picks up the win, and I'm down to my last representative. And my last representative, fuck it. My last representative is going to be Balls Mahoney, ECW original. Balls Mahoney versus Evil. Guys, go ahead and make your votes. Put them in. Let us know who wins between Balls Mahoney and Evil. There's Cliff voting for Evil. I think Cliff is like the closest person to being actually live.
Yeah.
There's 3. Come on, 2 more. We need 2 more. There you go. There's Abel. Okay, 1 more. Let's go. Asia. We got 2 balls. And there it is. 5 votes for Evil. There's a 6th vote. All right, go. So I literally just picked Balls Mahoney because my 5th was an ECW original, and literally nobody that I picked would have gotten votes over Evil at this point, and I just wanted to fucking end it. So who was your 5th competitor, John? Or what was the
I kind of had that light Yagami smile on my face, just thinking I've won, because I was gonna do Naito if all else failed. I was gonna keep pillaging.
What was the criteria for your 1st, 4th, and 5th options?
You have to choose 1 guy from LIJ, 1 from Undisputed Era, 1 female from Lucha Underground, and a WWE tag team from any era. So,
how the hell are Evil and Naito a WWE tag team from any era?
Well, see, the thing is, when you said my 4th pick, I thought it was going to be a bit weird because a tag team, usually that's 2. So wouldn't that take up 2 slots?
Yeah, that's why he only said 4 things. He said 3 things and then a tag team. So that's 2 more.
See, because I was a little confused by the wording of how he questioned it on my end. I guess if I was to do a WWE tag team from any era, I would do the modern era and do Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong, because I love that team.
So it really doesn't matter. You were winning either way. So
yeah, I had it all planned out. So
how did you come up with Evil though and Naito?
I don't know. I just wanted to think of the most OP people possible. There really wasn't much in the thought process, to be honest, because but because I already did Sonata earlier for LIJ, so I just thought I'd keep going back to that well there.
So you cheated?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
So next question.
Second question, or no, that was it for Hazardous Something. First of 4 questions from Mets fan, who isn't in chat tonight, I don't think. I haven't seen him. Oh yeah, he is. Mets 21. Yeah, Mets fan is he's around some, or is it Mets fan or is it just Mets?
I think it's just Mets. Yeah, it's just Mets. Mets 2128.
Mets 2128. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Why I typed fan unnecessarily. Didn't we used to have a Mets fan?
I feel like we did. I don't even know.
All right. Anyway, first up from Mets, who is the worst world heavyweight champion currently, in your opinion? And this is for both of us.
The worst world champion currently, Jinder Mahal, right? Or when we say currently, do they mean currently holding the title?
Currently holding a title. God, you're trying to cheat again, son of a bitch.
Hey, listen, man, it's what I do. I guess Jay Lethal, because I've just really kind of grown bored with him, so I'll just go with him.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm gonna go with Pentagon.
Okay.
And that could apply to Ring of Honor or to Lucha Underground, or I guess you could. I don't know if he's still holding it in a kayfabe perspective, but TNA. Right. He was the Impact champion at one point.
No, I think Austin Aries got it back, but Aries sucks.
Oh, then Austin Aries is my nomination. There you go. Second question from Mets. Should John be given a medicine that suppresses both Goodfella and Scumbag, or a medicine that splits them into separate identities outside of his own body?
Split, because then you can make a sitcom and make a shit ton of money. So
there you go. Yeah, exactly. That's great. All right. So a third question. Do you guys ever consider going to WrestleCon at all? No.
Nope.
Fourth and final question from Mets. I don't really get this, but he just put that he holds up a foam cup with coins inside it and says, "Change, you got change. Oh, come on, help a guy out, will you? Change."
I mean, I guess. I don't know.
Is this meant to be like a reference to something, or is he trying to be funny?
I mean, I know that like Channel Awesome used to have like a bum character, like Doug Walker used to have a bum character. So I don't know if Metz is like a Channel Awesome fan, but because that's immediately what came to my mind. But other than that, I don't know.
All right, let's move on. 4 questions from Ace the Skylord. We're kind of starting to wind down here, guys. First up, why are the Bella Twins?
Because they're
probably my favorite question on this list.
Because their mother decided not to swallow, unfortunately.
I mean, the thing is, you can't prevent pregnancy by swallowing because the cum goes into 2 different holes in those cases.
Oh, God.
Like, you can't get pregnant from, I don't even know how did I, never mind, just go.
Well, I mean, I pretty much I pretty much went. You have to go now. Why the Bella Twins?
Why are the Bella Twins? Because humans are imperfect and make decisions based not on what's best for everyone, but for what's best for themselves. That's why.
That was more eloquence than they deserve. Next question.
Why does Geto hate Naito so much? I don't think he does. I just don't think he knows what he has, and I also think that he wants people to want it more.
I'd say copy paste that. I don't think there's genuinely any hatred. If anything, I think he's more aloof than anything else. So,
third question: why is Andrade still not in a meaningful feud?
Because there are other things going on around him that need to be addressed first, and I genuinely believe that. I think 2019 is going to be his breakout year. I think he's simmering now, but I think you get Joe and Miz and Bryan and all that sorted, and I think he'll really take off to the races once all that's organized. Again, I could see one of Bryan's feuds easily being him and Andrade for the WWE title. I'm hoping. So for now, I'm just going to say it's because other things need to get sorted out first.
Yeah, that's fair. It's like he's at like a light simmer now, but 2019 he's going to be at a full boil, baby.
Yeah, buddy.
Next question: why is WWE trying with heel Becky? Because again, people don't always make decisions based on what's best for everyone. They make decisions based on what they prefer. And Vince has the weirdest fucking infatuation with Charlotte Flair.
Pretty much copy paste. Yeah, nothing more I could really add to that he hasn't already said.
All right, now we've got our 4 questions from Dominique Adams. First up, would you say the WWE, or at least the main roster, has lost the ability to make a true heel these days?
I don't think they have, because I think Miz is still an exceptional heel. I just think they don't have their priorities straight as far as why a great heel should be made. I think WWE can make a serviceable heel for one guy, mainly like Roman Reigns or something, which is difficult because Roman always gets booed. But I think, they have a good concept of a villain. They just don't think of a villain that should like make everybody. They just think of a villain as like making our guy, and thus it doesn't come off as well. If you've got a villain that's like universally loathed in the sense that you could put him in place with any baby face and they'd get something out of it, that'd be more beneficial. And I think they can do it. It's just they really don't have the mindset to do it. So that's kind of my feeling on it.
You know, this is one of the few why can WWE not do this thing right questions that I'm actually going to put on the performers, because to me, like, nobody on the NXT writing staff is telling Tommaso Ciampa to take to Twitter and, you know, drop hot fire almost every single day, or to like go so above and beyond with his heel character to get heat. Nobody's telling him to do that. I'm pretty sure Miz is one of the few performers in the WWE who doesn't get scripted. He cuts his promos maybe from like bullet points and or more mostly off the cuff. So really, I think this comes down more to the performers and really a lack of understanding of what a heel character is supposed to do because of pro wrestling in 2018 being so different than what it was in its origin, which was everybody works together because the more money you make as a unit, the more money each individual makes. Well, that's not really incentivized anymore. It's not really, you know, the more money the company makes, the more money the individuals make. We've seen that proven time and time again, with perfect example being just recently, you get the $1 billion deal out of Fox and then the $1.3 billion deal out of USA Network, and the performers don't see a penny of that. You're going out and signing more people, but you're still signing them to contracts that are worth pennies on the dollar, like the fucking UK contracts that are like 32 grand a year or some shit. So at the end of the day, I think that the lack of incentive for performers to make other performers look good at the expense of themselves for the sake of increasing business for the entire company has led to performers not being as willing to look foolish for the sake of making other people look good. And that is what has caused the inability of true heels to be prominent in the world of wrestling today, because everyone's too worried about getting their shit in, looking out for themselves, making their money, because, you know, the whole, the when the tide rises, everybody's boats go up kind of thing. That rule doesn't really apply as much anymore. So I think that the changing of incentives has really been the key factor in the loss of the ability to make a true heel. And only certain individuals that kind of came up in the business the quote unquote right way, which I guess with the Miz, he kind of bunks that theory, but Ciampa goes towards it. Those are the ones that are really focused on being the right kind of heel.
All right, well said. We can move on to our next question.
All right, second question from Dominique Adams. Would you save the marriage of Johnny and Taya if it meant giving up any chances for Ishii to win the IWGP World Title?
Absolutely. Yeah. I want Ishii to have the best, but after those vows exchanged, I can't break up that marriage. I can't be Ricky. I'm already Ricky enough.
But you're not responsible for the marriage breaking up. That's the thing. It's not, would you break up? Would you be willing to break up? Like, the question isn't, you can either break up Johnny and Taya or Ishii can win a world title. The question is, would you be willing to save, like,
right. So I guess like I can't ignore the chance to save the marriage. I'll say.
Okay, gotcha.
So, yeah, I definitely do that. Yeah.
It's almost a little bit of a trolley problem in and of itself, right?
Yeah, well, a little bit.
Third question from Dominique Adams is for both of us. If you could reverse any booking decision in wrestling history, what would it be and why?
Triple H beating CM Punk at Night of Champions. That made no fucking sense, and I think it completely killed all of Punk's momentum. So I would have Punk go over. That's
a really good one. That's like I don't know if I could think of one better than that. Let's see. You know what? I'm going to concede that that's the best answer, but I'm also going to say that, like, to me, the next best answer, and one that you didn't bring up, so I'm going to bring it up, would be Booker T would beat Triple H at WrestleMania 19.
That was my backup. Yep. It's always funny that it comes down to those two. I'm sure there are others, but those two really stick out.
And of course, it's always fucking Papa H. Triple H always has to go over, guys. Next up, fourth and final question from Dominique Adams. Is Kairi Sane better than Bianca Belair in every way imaginable?
See, now Dominique's only asking this because Johnny Goodfellow and Asia Goodfellow are forming a friendship, and they may be even taking a baking class together. I don't fucking know. I will say that I think Bianca is the stronger of the two competitors. I think she's more athletic. So they both got their upsides. They both have got their downsides, and they're going to have an amazing match, presumably at a takeover, Bianca's very first, for the NXT Women's Championship. Me and Asia are going to be happy because women's wrestling will be fucking great. And if Bianca wins, great. She'll be a strong role model for a lot of girls watching, especially young black girls watching the TV. If Kyrie wins, I mean, my heart's happy, and I think a lot of hearts are happy because it's fucking Kyrie. It's purity personified. So it's a win-win here. And yeah, there is no tearing apart Asia Goodfellow and Johnny Goodfellow. So Dominique, stop being such a heel and just appreciate it. God. Next question.
Next question. I'm going to go first and give the Cliff Notes version of the answer, and then I'll let you expound if you feel the need to. From Javaris, why does the NCAA insist on not paying the student athletes even though they have more than enough money to do it? Simple answer, capitalism.
Yeah, pretty much. I've already expounded upon why I hate capitalism enough. If you want to hear it, go back to a prior Q&A. Next.
All right, next up is Cliff Mall's question. He asked it via super chat earlier, so I'm going to scroll back and find it. Hopefully. Oh, God, it was... Okay, there it is. What are your thoughts on the idea of Kevin Owens coming back as a part of Undisputed Era and giving WWE their new NWO? And where would Sammy fit in all of this?
I personally wouldn't do it at all. I think it would start to get a bit overcrowded. I really like the guys they've got in it now, especially when Fish gets healthy, because then Strong could go back to being a singles guy. I want Owens to kind of be a lone wolf for a bit, and then when Sammy comes back, I mean, maybe even keep Sammy heel and have Owens go on a babyface run. That's kind of what I've been musing for a while. So I wouldn't even make him a part of Undisputed Era, so there's no point to fit Sammy in anything because it's not even happening in the first place. What about you, Ashton?
Yeah, yeah, I mean, I guess it could work. I don't know. I kind of want to just kind of see what they're planning on doing with KO, and I just like the Undisputed as they are. But I guess that could work, especially if Sammy would become a part of it, because that could just be fun and entertaining. I don't know. Isn't Sammy not even supposed to be back until like May or June though? Like he's out a while, isn't he?
He is out a while, yeah.
Yeah, so that's unfortunate. All right, guys, we've got 5 questions left, and this one isn't really even a question, but then we've got 4 from Foster, and then we can close this thing out. But alas, here we are. We've got a request from Mark Schoeneman. This is his 4th quote-unquote question of the month, and this is specifically for Ashton Steiner. And he wanted Ashton Steiner to recite the Wendy's Twitter Steiner math promo.
Oh, dear God.
Let me see here. Let me see if I can do this, all right?
Okay.
You know, when they say that all burgers are created equal, but you look at the Baconator and you look at frozen beef, and you can see that that statement is not true. See, normally, if you go one-on-one with another cheeseburger, you got a 50-50 chance of winning, but we got never frozen beef, and that's not normal. So you got a 25% at best at beat us. Then you add Junior Bacon Cheeseburger to the mix, your chances of winning drastically go down. See, the drive-through at lunchtime, you got a 33 1/3 chance of winning. But we got a 66 2/3 chance of winning because the king knows he can't beat us, and he's not even going to try. So frozen beef, you take your 33 1/3 chance minus our 25% chance, and you got an 8 1/3 chance of winning at lunchtime. But then you take a 75% chance of winning if we was to go one-on-one and then add 66 2/3%. We got a 141 2/3 chance of winning at lunch. See, Joe, the numbers don't lie, and they spell deliciousness for you at lunchtime.
I guess we can move on.
4 questions from Alex Foster. First up, kayfabe reasons wrestling shows always end relatively on time.
Because Becky needs to eat her quinoa in peace, damn it.
Oh,
I really can't think of a kayfabe reason why those shows would have to end on time.
Well, I mean, the thing is, you could definitely make the argument that Raw doesn't end on time. Raw is supposed to end at 11, and it always, always, always overruns. So that's a good explanation for that. Let's see. As far as SmackDown, I don't have an explanation for SmackDown, but I can explain why it used to not always run over time, and that's because they used to have time limits for matches where, you know, there was the potential for matches tying via time limit draw, and they would just have to push it off to the next week and that kind of thing. So that's how that used to happen. So that's all I got for you as far as that. Second question from Foster: if TWitWoW was made into a blockbuster movie, who would play you guys and who would play the Scum Squad? And the thing is, he said that he thought that RG3 would be playing him in this movie, but I mean, if it's gonna be a Scum Squad version of you, Foster, RG3 seems like too nice of a guy to play a member of the Scum Squad, and I don't think he's a very talented actor either. So I'm gonna have a certain actor that used to be pretty well known for having dreadlocks, and really, he might not even need to grow dreadlocks out anymore. He might just be able to wear a dreadlock wig or weave. I'm gonna go with Anthony Anderson to play Alex, Foster.
Okay. We also have to pick people to play us, right?
Yeah. So that's a lot more difficult. And we also got, I mean, he said the Scum Squad, so I guess you can just kind of take any assortment of Scum members. Yeah, I would choose. Oh God, I'm about to get really goofy. I would choose Tom Cruise to play Sal because they're both short and have beautiful hair.
Aw. I would have.
Isn't that like a TWitWoW trope that Sal and Foster have the best hair?
That is true. That is true. The word is that the feud's still going on to this day. I don't know, man. I'm trying to think of people. Let's see. I would have. I don't know if Asia would be offended by this because I think Asia's a fan. I'm not sure. I would have Viola Davis play Asia, and I think that would work. Because I've seen her in like How to Get Away with Murder and stuff, and I think she would bring like Asia's pettiness and her fire. Oh, she already said she wants Gabrielle Union for her, so we'll just go with that. I didn't mean to offend you either, Asia. I'm really just trying to think of the best people that I know. Wow, James, he picked Louis. Oh no, Asia actually seemed cool with my pick. Okay, so we'll just stick with that. Yeah, Viola Davis. For me, since we also got to pick actors for ourselves, I'm going to go with a genuinely disabled actor. I don't know if it's actually CP, so I'm just kind of kind of shooting in the dark here. Oh, actually, yeah, he does. I'm going to go with RJ Mitt, who was in Breaking Bad. He was the son in Breaking Bad. So I'll just go with him.
Oh, okay, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, so I'll go with him for me. This way I don't commit the crime of putting a non-disabled actor in a disabled role. Who would you have for you?
I don't know, dude. Oh God, fucking who's tall and has long hair in Hollywood? That's a guy.
Tall and long hair. Let me just type in actors who are tall and have long hair.
Because like when I thought tall and big and large, I immediately thought of like the guy that plays the Mountain, but he's got short hair and barely speaks English, so probably not the best option there.
Yeah, that's definitely a bit difficult. Let's see, actors who are tall and long hair. Male celebrities with long hair.
The thing is, like, I'm sure there are going to be plenty with long hair, but I don't know about the height thing.
Well, I'm looking at tall actors now because it seems like you can't have both. Let's see.
Foster suggested Jason Momoa. I don't know.
There is one guy named Richard Ashton, so he's got a last name for your first name. He was born in 1965, so he's a bit on the older side, but he's 6'7". How tall are you again?
6'6".
6'6", huh? We could probably fudge the numbers a little bit, though, right, with this actor.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I mean, we really, I'd say, like, anyone that's, like, taller than 6'2" would probably be able to play me, as long as they had the look, like, the long hair and stuff.
Yeah, where are you, long-haired fucks?
Why are you naming wrestlers, guys? This isn't wrestlers, it's actors. Hypothesis said you could put Jason Momoa in whiteface. Oh, I mean, isn't that kind of what they tried to do with Roman Reigns a few years ago when they gave him the blue contacts and shit?
I'll choose an actor from Stranger Things, apparently. His name's Matty Carteropol. I'm gonna show you a pic of him.
You know what? I'm gonna pick a guy who. Oh shit! No, he's too old. Never mind.
I'm gonna go with this. This is the. I'm not saying I'm gonna stop looking, but this is the best guy I've found so far because he's like 6'4", and the hair. I'm like, you know what? With the hair, I think we could.
Give me a name.
Matty, and then I'm just gonna spell the. Matty is Matty, and then the last name is Cardar.
Carteropol?
Yeah.
Oh God, no.
That was the best one I could find so far on the list.
Hell no. No, it's got to. I mean, it's got to be a bigger guy too, because I'm not thin by any means.
I mean, I understand that, but I know at the same time, like, I'm kind of turn the tide.
Let's go over the rest of this. God damn it, James wants Idris Elba to play him.
I was gonna pick Samuel L. Jackson to play Javaris, but I didn't know if Javaris would be down with that. Yeah, actually, even just say, can I be played by Samuel L. Jackson? ESPN, Javaris. Oh ESPN, God. Baby. Yes. I'm the TWitWoW pimp. So, yeah, that would totally work. So, yeah, Samuel L. Jackson to play Javaris. Who else do we have to cast?
Have we cast Cliff yet?
Have we? Does he even matter? No, I guess he does. Shit. So let's see who could play Cliff. I mean, I do remember him being a handsome son of a bitch, which makes me insecure. So who could we have here that's handsome? Let's see.
Okay. Apparently Vince Vaughn is 6'6", and I've never liked him, but that's the closest thing to me that we're gonna find. So let's just go with Vince Vaughn in a fucking wig.
All right, fair enough.
James, you're not in the Scum Squad. Fuck off.
Oh wow. How many more castings do we have left? Abel wants to be George Lopez.
Oh my God.
Honestly, if they're already kind of doing the work for us,
yeah, we'll just leave it with what you guys suggest. Whatever you want to be, that's who you can be.
I don't know why Asia's got the whole pause thing going on and she's running out. She gets to be Viola Davis in this bitch. So
yeah, she's running away.
And James is now effectively turned on us. Way to go, Ashton. Way to go.
You get in the squad by buying a Scum Squad t-shirt. It's not that hard.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
All right, guys. Third question from Foster. Favorite so bad it's good moments in wrestling?
So bad it's good. Oh, yeah. I wish you would have died in the womb. Easily. I'm only going to name that one because I'm not going to rack the brain.
I'm really bad at this because when something's bad, I don't enjoy it. Oh God. We'll go with Lonzo Ball on Ms. TV.
All right.
All right. Oh God damn it, Foster. Why would you make this the last question of Q&A? What other songs should Baron Corbin sing? Is
Hey Diddle Diddle
a valid answer? What did you say, John?
I said Hey Diddle Diddle, the cat and the fiddle, the cow jumped over the moon. So
yeah, I was just gonna ask if no more songs is a valid answer, because I would prefer that he just doesn't sing any more songs at all.
Yeah, I guess let me think of I'm gonna pull up a list of children's songs. So I gave Alex more of a valid answer than just not sing any more songs. So give me a second. Oh well, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. Yeah, that'll be my answer. Twinkle Twinkle Little Star for
okay. What song has he actually sung?
Itsy Bitsy Spider.
Okay, then I'm gonna go with Row 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 Your Boat. So let's just close it after that.
Okay. All right, that was Q&A, right? We're done.
Yeah, goddamn, this was rough, guys. We might We really might have to start going to the weekly format because this was the weirdest Q&A yet, I think.
Yeah, you guys. I mean, I know I'm going to therapy, but I might have to dispense some cards out. But yeah, thank you all for coming. And I don't know, actually, I guess we should decide here, right? If I'm going to do a pin tweet, are we going to start doing Q&A every week? What are we doing?
Yeah, guys, I know not all of you were here, so we wanted to ask, would you guys prefer that we stick with this 4 questions every month format, or in order to allow you guys to ask us more sort of current relevant questions, we were willing to go to a weekly format where we answer 1 question per week. And obviously it's not going to be literally 1 question in a video, but each of you will be allotted 1 question per week. So you still get in your 4 or sometimes 5 a month, but it's just 1 a week. We want to leave that up to you guys. So if you would prefer the 4 questions monthly or just 1 question weekly, we are going to leave that up to you. Someone said bi-weekly, but I'm not really interested in that because the timing would get weird. So we're going to leave it up to you guys. It's either going to be 4 monthly or 1 weekly. We're not going to do bi-weekly because of the weird timing issues that could cause. James, I've said fuck off twice to you now. I really don't want to say it again. Oh, Abel.
Daily Q&A with unlimited questions. No, my head would explode. All right, so I guess Q&A every week then.
You know what? Let's do 1 more of the monthly, and then we'll ask the question again next time, and maybe we can get a little bit more of a comprehensive response.
You want to just do a Twitter poll about it, like you did with the progress? Because
yeah, that works. But for now, just count on it being monthly.
Okay. Yeah, guys, so monthly Q&A, that would mean that next month's Q&A is going to be, let me just pull it up, September 27th. September 27th. So get your Q&A questions in. 4 questions a month, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Discord. Of course, my pinned tweet, that's where you can send most of your questions. And you guys know how it works. Everybody that's in here, you've done pretty much all the Q&As. So I'll get the pinned tweet up shortly. Going to hand it back to Ashton to take us home.
All right, guys, this has been a very interesting Q&A, and we will see you guys for our SmackDown Live and 205 live reactions on Tuesday. Or if you would rather, show up for Just Lucha Underground and the Mae Young Classic, we'll see you for those on Wednesday. But regardless of what you want to show up to, remember to like this video. I see we have 4 dislikes because of James's punk ass. And then remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Click on the bell icon to get notified and join the notification squad. Follow us both on Twitter. Like the Facebook. Buy merch on Teespring. Donate to the Patreon. That's only $3 a month. And that'll get you into the official TWitWoW patron Discord channel. And that will also allow you to accumulate that $3 a month every month over time, which will allow you to request live reactions to wrestling shows of your choosing. And then it will also all kind of get grouped together in a big community pot that will allow John and I to live react to SmackDown and 205 every Tuesday of every month. So lots of benefits to donating to the Patreon. And it's, we appreciate all the support we can get, guys. So anything that you're willing and able to do, it's obviously appreciated. And finally, remember to share this video and share this channel with all of your wrestling fan friends. Let them in on TWitWoW. Let them in on the best kept secret in the YouTube wrestling community. We're the workhorses of the YWC. And we will see you guys on Tuesday and or Wednesday, depending on if and when you decide to show up. So we will see you all then. And of course, you've got to remember to stay tuned.